Listen up, everybody. I don't know what I'm going to include and what I'm not going to include, but I will include this. Tupelo, Mississippi, chain skate shop. My name is Schmitty, and this is the podcast called Talkin Schmit. Today, we're going to break the internet. We're going fucking viral. I got a top shelf guest with a top shelf attitude and a top shelf track record. And when I used to drink, I never drank top shelf. So what do you know about that?
Whoa, slow it down.
This motherfucker is funny as shit, and he ain't afraid to say what is on his mind. He's been pro as fuck for years, and he's currently doing his own podcast. It's called WCRP. He's got a bunch of episodes. Go check it out. He does it for the culture. This is the Mighty Mighty Clyde Singleton, everybody.
Hell yeah.
And they said it wouldn't happen. Look at me now, huh? Look at me now. Anyway, before we start, I want to direct you to talkinschmit.com/shop. We just got some new stickers in, which is a little tease because I got a new line of shirts, hats, beanies, hoodies, you name it, I'll have it. We even got socks. Anyway, teaser alert. Cranny's got a new logo. Thanks to everybody that bought a Halloween shout out tee. We made like a small run because McKenny said we need seasonal. McKenny asked, I answer, boom, you guys help support it. I don't know if we'll do Thanksgiving or Christmas. Time will tell. You tell me. You want red and green? We can bring it out. Anyway, tickety tack over to Talkin Schmit for all your holiday needs. This year is winding down, and that means it's potty time. McKenny is revisiting every episode and sending me daily notes with timestamps. Best laugh, Seabass, who's going to get the podcast of the year? It's all boiling with anticipation.
Fuck are they, dude? I need my Talkin Schmit, man.
Email me in your picks and your categories and any other note you want to make about the 2022 year. I take it all into consideration, and I love your support and your contribution. So please feel free. We had a pretty insane lineup, if I do say so myself. The guest level was top shelf again. The Rolodex is still got lots to go through, too. I'm feeling pretty proud after this year, and I already filmed my ender.
I'm not claiming.
Anyway, I want to give a special shout out and congrats to friends of the show, Solomon Aga and Pat Duffy, for finally getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this week. It's a huge honor, and whether you think the Hall of Fame is good or bad or whatever, just stop with all that judgment and realize that two legendary icons are getting recognized and acknowledged for their shit.
We made it, man.
Anyway, hopefully Solomon will have that pizza catering down there, so he'll get a little side hustle on his own shit. I think that would be appropriate. Also, I'd like to give a wait, what? Is this real? To Weekend Skateboards. Congratulations on your new line of fruit boots.
Is that real?
Also a big, hey, ages 18 to 30, what the fuck is your deal? Only 15% of you are voting. You guys like to talk a lot of shit and all that, but you don't want to help make change.
Bipolar as fuck.
I was always taught, my grandma said it to me, if you're not going to vote, you can't open your mouth. Get out there and vote.
It's sort of like the stampede of elephants. Like, they don't know they're making such a big impact.
Happy November. Don't take offense. Just come listen and learn as I pass the mic to this week's legendary guest. Super hyped on this one. As you can tell, all hopped up on that Phil's coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Trash pot!
And away we go.
What's up, everybody? My name's Clyde Singleton. You're watching Talkin Schmit. Check me out. Blah, 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 blah.
Holy cannoli.
It's cool, like tonight is the night.
Yeah. Big dog's in.
Do we really want to be here?
Everything's changed.
We on? Schmitty? Talkin Schmit.
Talkin Schmit, dude.
You gonna come out different.
Shit my pants, lad.
Your Rolodex is fucking deep.
Holy shit.
It's about the ones.
Who is this guy? Thinks he's tough shit.
What's up?
Come on, Schmitty, what the fuck?
Tell the skateboard police to come get me.
What is happening?
Let's hear it for Greg Swift.
All right. Podcast world, do not hate. We're here to elevate. Today is something we've been working on for a while, and I'm fucking stoked because, when people do the same thing, there's usually competition and weirdness and stuff. But me and Clyde reached out to each other and said, hey, we both do podcasts, but there's nothing but love. Today on the program is Clyde Singleton. And the word I'd like to use for myself is psyched, because I'm fucking hyped. Like I had a little extra coffee and it's time to go. Let's do this. I'm hyped.
And I appreciate it, dude. This is awesome. Thank you.
How you been living lately? You looking good?
Thank you, man. I've been living good. I can't complain. Just been working a lot. I'm working over here at this restaurant called Forklift, doing some stuff with them there now. I'll probably join them as a chef here soon. I just got there about a week and a half ago. It was kind of impromptu how it ended up. Yeah, man, I'm just chilling in Tupelo. I came here for one job and ended up somewhere else and ended up somewhere better. And thanks to the skate shop, dude. Seriously, they looked out, man. So I was just telling the kid here that skateboarding is like you said, it's the last community, man. It's like, there's no beef. There's no none. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like it's the last place where it's our little safe spot. It's where we can always feel comfortable. You can go out of town, shit goes left, hit up a skater. You know what I mean? Like you need a place to go eat, you need a place, anything, hit up a skater. And that's what happened with me here. And we came here about a month ago, and I ended up taking a job with a gentleman here, and he didn't hold his word. But mad at change, make sure everything, he set me up, dude. So I'm here, I'm staying. And as a matter of fact, I want to say Matt is getting his own, I'm sorry, not his own, but they just got approved for a skate park here for the city. So nice. I came right time. They already got a skate park, but it's getting a bowl. So I'm like, yes.
Sick, dude. What's the name of the skate shop in Tupelo?
It's called Change.
Okay. Hell yeah. I gotta hit them up and get them some of my soft goods.
This is as core as a skate shop as you get, man.
Yeah, I like your backdrop. It's looking good right there.
Hey, look, that's me right there. I made that. Yeah. That's what's up. This one man right here is Ben.
Shout out.
What up, Ben?
Tupelo is the birthplace of Elvis.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I around the corner from Elvis's old house.
No way.
Yeah. I've told everyone. Elvis had a twin brother that passed away. And this is factual shit. He had a twin brother that passed away at birth. So, and everyone that lives here knows Elvis grew up around black people. It's a fact of life. Yeah. And when he famous, they moved his house on the other side of the tracks, blah, blah, blah. So I've taken it upon myself to let everybody know that I'm Elvis's twin brother. He was black, and the parents didn't want him to know. They didn't want everybody to know, so they kind of gave me away and said I was dead. Dude, I've been running this shit for like ever. I'm probably gonna die. It's cool. It's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Ben, no, man. Everything good?
Everything's good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just got 1 year married in August, so a little over 1 year, and we're just doing it. It's my birthday on Thursday, so I'm almost as old as my durometer size of wheels. That's pretty gnarly.
You're a beautiful man.
Congratulations on your marriage, and happy birthday, man.
Thanks, dude. So you were born and raised in Florida, right?
Yes, sir. Jacksonville, man. I was born in Jacksonville. Born and raised Jacksonville. I lived in Texas for a little bit as a kid, though.
Oh,
my father was in Fort Hood. And so I lived in Killeen for a while. I remember it like it was, I watched my first laser disc there.
So you really are from the hood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We lived in the fucking the army thing. So it was all the hood families and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, wow.
but it was my dad used to have crazy ass parties. It was wild, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I loved it though, man. But I grew up in Jacksonville. Started skating when I was around 12. Seventh grade, towards the end of seventh grade year, and just stuck with it, man. Met a bunch of cool ass dudes and stuck with it, man.
What do you think it was that drew you to it? Were you one of these guys that was riding a BMX and it was natural? Like we all rode bikes when we were kids and then started skating. I think it was just what happened, but some people had older brothers and they had a skateboard and that was what was your deal?
My older brother didn't skate. Older brother was he wasn't like some hood dude, but no one skated. Like my neighbor skated, and my neighbor Ricky Ward skated. He had a skateboard, and we were walking to the bus stop, and I was like, "Yo, let me hold your skateboard." And tic tac, and I dropped off the curb, and I was like, "Yo!" From there it was on. I was like, somehow I made it off the curb, and it was like, I'm pushing to the next bus stop. So I kept pushing, and I got my own skateboard about a week later. But the thing was, I went to school, and the kid I knew that wanted a skateboard, he had a Vision Psycho stick. And I didn't know nothing about skateboards. I was like, man, that thing looks sweet. Like, I remember a kid showed me a Trans World, and it was Tony Hawk doing a crossbone. He had a pink shirt, pink helmet. I remember this shit like yesterday. He had pink shirt, pink. And I was like, man, that shit looks sweet. And so this kid had a board. He's like, man, I'll hook you up with a board. There's a Vision Psycho stick. And he showed it to me. I was like, man, that thing looked like nothing I ever saw. I was like, yeah, I need that. So at the time, I'm BMXers, right? But we were like, I was a badass kid. So we went to the mall. I lived by the mall, Roosevelt Mall. And dude was like, I trade you a bike frame for it. I was like, oh, bet. So I went to the mall and stole a bike. I stole somebody's bike. I don't know who it was. I didn't give a fuck. But I took the bike to school the next day and I took it in a garbage bag. And the principal, walked up. He's like, what's in the bag? And I was like, yo, mind your business. And he took my fucking frame. So I didn't get my board to the end of the year, yo. Oh. So technically I started skating about 9 weeks before the last day of school. So yeah. That's how I got into it, man. Started skating vert. When I first thing I did, yeah, man. I skated vert my first couple of years. Skated vert and like
how somebody had a ramp or a skate? Oh, Kona probably or something, right?
Man, I didn't even know where Kona was my first couple of years.
How are you skating vert out of nowhere?
This is the greatest thing. My parents split up when I was in third grade, so the neighborhood I grew up with was like, it's kind of rich, a rich white neighborhood, and so there was a bunch of rich white kids around me. And obviously to have a ramp, you had to be rich. So there was a bunch of ramps around me. A bunch of kids were into skating. And there was one 2 blocks away. There was one right by my junior high school at the time. And I think there was like 2 or 3 within like my neighborhood. And everyone else had the jump ramps and shit. So I started dropping in jump ramps. And I seen everybody else skating the vert ramp. So I kept pumping and just dropped in. I went to the other side, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I was like, oh, from there and what's funny, man, check this out. When I first, I can't believe I'm fucking telling people this. When I first started skating, I didn't really know how to stand on a skateboard, I guess. Like I knew I skated regular, but all the guys I liked skating, they skated, I call it opposite foot. So I would ride the setup and do a trick and jump the other way and then do it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I street skated. Like I didn't know. You know what I mean? I was just like, I could drop in the ramp. I could kick turn a little after a few months. Like I picked it up really quick. Okay. And then I didn't know how to street skate though. Like everything I did, I'd be riding one way and right before I did a trick, I'd jump into the other way. Right. And so I learned perks and everything like for like the first, I was skating the wrong way for like the first year, dude.
Oh, damn. I was going to say, because you got, fucking half cab and fakie is your shit. Like you got that on lock. And maybe that's from skating a ramp back and forth and feeling comfortable going backwards.
Absolutely, man. Like it's, yeah. And like realistically, my thing was I could never really skate switch. So I used to do fakie stuff and I was a huge Sean Sheffy fan always. So remember you had like the fakie alley and the Caballero. Dude, that was, man, I wanted to learn all like man, I remember I saw him as Speed Freaks. I wanted to learn all that. So, like, I was just a huge Sean Sheffy fan. So generally, I kind of went towards what he was doing. You know, like he was my, besides Ray Barbie, man, Sean Sheffy, and they're literally toe and toe as like my biggest influences in skateboarding. Like there was no one else I wanted to be more like, or, you know, I could really reference myself to other than those two guys. You know, Steve Stedham, of course, too. But I wasn't, you know, by then, I think it was Sure Grip and Stedham, it kind of faded out in the late 90s. You know what I mean? So that's when street skating came in. I was just like, I mean, shit, who was it? It was just Ray and Sheffy, and there might have been a couple more brothers sprinkled in there, but I don't really, you know, Peanut Brown, I remember his board on Airborne.
Ron Allen.
Yeah, Ron, but that was, you know what I'm saying? This is Ron Allen. I wasn't really familiar with Ron Allen until Hocus Pocus.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't really, we were in Florida, man. We didn't know much about skating. You know what I mean? Like we were like stealing cars and shit. Like we were doing like dumb young Florida people shit. So if we skated, we knew who Gons was and Mark Gonzalez and, you know, Savannah Slam and all that shit started coming around. We started seeing more contests and videos and stuff like that. But we were kind of lost in the sauce for a while. You know, we didn't know what was going on. We just figured like we'd see like a 10 flat 10. We'd be like, I bet Mark Gonzalez would ollie that. And like we didn't know. You know, like we didn't know anything. And Kona wasn't something that it was expensive to us. You know what I mean? Like my mom worked at fucking Popeyes, dude. Like I didn't have Kona money. Like, you know, like it wasn't feasible for us to go to Kona, and it wasn't a place I felt very comfortable at. You know, there weren't very many people that looked like me there, and majority they looked like fucking John Cougar Mellencamp. So it wasn't a place. Yeah. It wasn't against Kona, but it wasn't a place where I felt accepted at. You know what I mean? I felt more accepted at the backyard ramps, and you know, like it wasn't. Even if I paid my money there, I still didn't feel like welcomed. You get what I'm saying? Like, like it's I don't know. I'm speaking for myself, you know, and like, and there's been things that I don't really even know, you know, like I've been kicked out of Kona where I went back in like 2004, 2005 or something and asked to skate, and they're like, you're not allowed here. And I'm like, for what? They're like, we got to look it up. And I'm like, that's some old fucking 1964 police shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking me, you got to look it up. Either you know or you don't. I'm one of the 4 black people that was here.
Yeah, your face is on the wall. Do not let him skate.
It's just a dot with some teeth. Like
we don't know why. Just don't let him. He's 86 for life.
Yeah, don't let him in. But yeah, man. Just growing up in Florida was different. You know, we didn't have a lot. We did with what we could. You know, we didn't know a lot about skating. We just know we loved it, and that's all that mattered to us. We just kind of emulated what we thought people were doing, I guess.
Yeah. It's crazy. What do you think it is about Florida? Because, I mean, California is obvious. Like, we got skateboarding, the industry, everything here. But if you look at Florida, some gnarly dudes and women have come out of that state as far as, like, Alan Gelfand all the way to Jamie Foy and in between, right? Like, Reynolds, Steamer, like... I mean, the list goes on. Rodney Mullen, Paul Schmit, who does the wood, like all these. So tough question, but what do you think it is? Is there some like thing that like has, you know, is it the alligator thing you buy at the gas station? Like, what is it?
I mean, fucking Florida just runs shit. You know what I mean? It's the weather, you know, it's the weather, and it's
year round, right?
I say this. It's we have a different competitive edge. You know what I mean? And like a lot of us grew up playing sports. You know, like literally, like I don't know how it is in Cali, but a lot of us grew up playing very competitive sports, whether it be baseball or football, or you know, we all grew up playing sports. We all grew up out roughhousing and stuff. And if you look at a lot of things, Charlie Thomas made this good example today. If you go to California, you look at the schoolyards, it's like, it don't look like a schoolyard down south. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have that playing field. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have like easy access to a lot of stuff. So when at the rate we were learning stuff and we thought that it had to go down like that, like at that rate and on the kind of shit we were skating to, I think once we got to California and shit like that, it was like, this shit? You know, we were like, yo, like this thing is fucking perfect. You know what I mean? All that you grew up skating on the cobblestone roads and all them terrible backup publics and all that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that makes the guys from Florida a little bit different. You know, it's like they had the perfect, not the perfect weather, but we had good weather. And then we also got to skate different terrains. You know, like our ramps weren't perfect. And like we just kind of grew up different, you know, and I think a lot of people wanted to get the hell out of Florida. You know, like it's a beautiful place, but a lot of people love it, but more people in Florida want to get out of there. So once they get that little sliver, they're like, fucking, I'm out of here. Like it's not an easy place to live, man. And I just think to answer your question, man, it's just different. You know, guys are different. They're built different and they're just different, man.
Yeah.
Florida's like no other place. It ain't like you can be from some little city skating some little park with like a ledge all day and that's gonna make you. You know what I mean? That shit don't fly in Florida. Like you gotta. The good thing about Florida is this is what it is. We've always had the older heads to keep us in check. That is the number one fucking thing with Florida and skateboarding. We've always had the respect of the older dudes, and we've always had the older dudes to keep us in check. All these other little rugrats and shit, they don't got the people. You know what I mean? They don't got the Buck Smiths. They don't got the Mertzes. They don't got the Mark Lakes, and they don't got that kind of shit. So we've been blessed with that, man. That's a great thing if you think about it. You know, like, and that's kind of how society's fucked up. There's no more old people. You know what I mean? To check the young people. Like fucking grandma's like 38 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. But I think the new generation kids ain't trying to listen we probably didn't want to listen either. So I don't want to be that old dude that's like, back in my day. But like, you know what I mean? It's like people want to learn on their own. They don't want to learn from your experiences.
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, you know, though, we didn't want to listen when we were kids, but we showed the motherfuckers. That's the difference now. Kids now, they don't listen, but they can't show you shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different problem. It's like, if you can show me some shit, I'd be like, I shut my old ass up. But it's like, dude, you guys, there's like 10 of you guys. You guys all look the same. You skate the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Probably all about the van and you're all mad. Like one person did a crooked grind when you're all the same. You're fucking interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. You know, I think we didn't want to hear anything, but we were also we were coming from a very creative era. You know what I mean? Like it was a very genuine fuck you era. You know, to older people, but we also had respect for the older people. You know, it was sort of like, we don't want to listen to you, but we also wouldn't be like, fuck you to the older people or to our parents. Whereas now you're like, you can't tell a kid shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. Kids are, I mean, like I said, man, if your grandma's fucking 38, you probably ain't gonna listen to too many people.
That means your mom's 18.
Your mom's probably 25. I mean, you're probably 12. You know what I'm saying?
What was your early lifestyle, your family, all that stuff that like, I mean, you obviously live your life through humor. Where does that mentality come from? Like how early were you cracking jokes and just laughing off the pain or whatever it is? I
mean, my family I tell people all the time, it's like a fucking
is dinner epic? Like it's just dude, like we can't even eat. We're just rolling.
A Tyler Perry movie. My entire family, it's like my 48 years has been one long Tyler Perry movie. You know what I mean? Figure out if I'm the uncle with the crazy flower shirt or what's going on. My entire family is like everybody is funny. Like everyone's just. No one's too serious, you know, and I think that's what gets a lot of us by, you know. And I come from a very good family, man. You know, I come from an awesome family. I can't complain. It's strange to think I'm the only one. I'm the first one, and well, from me and my brother and actually both of my stepbrothers have passed away, but I'm the only one that really drank or anything like that, you know, or even like My mom don't smoke. My mom never smoked weed. My mom never drank. Like my brother, yeah, he's a square. You know what I mean? Like he's a good dude. But you know, we all just come from. We had great grandparents, man. You know, I had great grandma. You know, they kept the family in check, and now that they're passed, you know, I see how my mother and you know her sisters and stuff. It's like we come from a good family unit. I think that means a lot. You know, as much as they were very supportive of me and skateboarding, but very funny about it. You know, like they didn't understand it, but they were always supportive. You know, like now looking back, like you know, like my dad's like, I remember Clyde had them blonde dreads for anybody. You know, Clyde had them big pants for anybody, and it's you know, they've just always been funny. It's good, man. It's like whenever I'm feeling down, I hit my family up, and like my mom she's always got something ridiculous to say to me.
That rules.
Yeah, man.
What came first? You went to California for the first time. You went to California to live there, or you got hooked up from a skateboard company. What came first?
Well, I got hooked up first. And Acme wasn't my first sponsor. Like my first package, I had sponsors. You know, like my first sponsor was I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was for Airborne and Deadbolt at the time, and he was like a sales rep. It was weird. We had to go to the house to get shit. I always thought it was creepy as fuck. Yeah. But it was, me and Neil Mims were. I forgot the guy's name, but he was a rep, and he would hook us up with that. Were they Deadbolt trucks? Yeah, is that who made Airborne and Deadbolt? Yeah,
I think so.
With Airborne and Deadbolt trucks, and then I started getting a little bit of stuff from Vision. Fisher hooked me up. He would send me. Yeah, man, check this out. The first box I ever got at it just came home from skate my buddy's ramp, and there's a box on my bed. I'm like, my mom's like, where'd you get this from? I was like, oh shit, I got a box. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, I got sponsored at the ASR or the trade show in Orlando. Remember they used to have those?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took my tape down there with the shop guy and hooked it up, man. Like he had all these pictures of us. He literally shopped us, which is thank you, Brett. Thank you, man. Like you don't see this anymore. He took us down there, took me out of school, said, man, I'm getting you hooked up. Took me down there, had a thing of photos and video, was taking it to like all these people. And I think Vision, Don Fisher, Don's like, dude, I'll hook this guy up. So Don started sending me boxes. I get a box, and my mom's like, where'd you get this from? I'm like, and I was like, oh, I didn't tell her that I skipped school and went to ASR. So I'm like, she's like, you know this stuff? I was like, nah. I was like, nah, the dude. I was trying to tell her that the guy at the skate shop hooked me up, but she didn't believe it. So as I'm going to my box, she's like, whatever. And she walks out of the room, and I look on TV, and I swear to God, man, I've told the story a million times. A current affair was coming on. The top story was when Gator killed that guy. They just arrested him. I just got my box from Vision. Just opened it. Literally, the board I was holding in my hand was the street scene joint. Remember that? Literally, I was holding that shit. I had all kinds of streetwear, all kinds of shit, and I just remember being like, I guess there goes that. Like,
you're like, hey, Bob, check out my board. Oh,
she didn't really know. She didn't care, you know. But after that, I did end up. After that, I still ended up getting stuff from Vision. I remember
damn, that's
once
insane.
I called and I could do a perfect John Montesi impersonation. And so I called Fish and said I was John and ordered a shitload of Vision streetwear, dude. I had like 12 pairs at my house. It's a great thing. But I got hooked up by them guys. And then I think there was some Vision GNS mix-up thingy where they both quit, and then GNS went under, and Jim Gray and a bunch of guys were leaving GNS. It was Jim Gray, Remy, because he was on, I remember him telling me they were starting a company at the time, and I kind of remember being like, who the fuck is Jim Gray? Like, I didn't know who he was, you know what I mean? I didn't. At that time, I don't even think he was, when I started skating Blockhead, I don't think he was like a figure on Blockhead at that time, you know what I mean? So he would have been before my time to even know or care who the fuck he was, to be honest.
Wikipedia, the Gray Slide.
Yeah.
You mean no comprende?
I didn't even know that dude. You know what I mean? I was just like, cool, like whatever. I'm starting some company, and they just had the wheels at first. And I think they were still at Vision at the time, which is really fucking weird. But they had just the wheels. Yeah, they had just the wheels. And then he was saying him, Remy, a bunch of other guys are going to leave and start Acme and asked me if I wanted to buy Acme. And so I was getting stuff from Acme, and then I don't know if they were like, I can't remember, like they put a bunch of people on the team. So like I was on, and then it was like, thanks. And like it wasn't like they left me, but it was just like, thanks. And they just kind of dispersed. But the Kona Pro contest was that 90 or 91? I think it was 91. Okay. You looking it up?
No.
It might have been, okay. I think it might have been 91. The Kona Pro contest. All those guys came to town, and we took Julian Stranger street skating with us. And so Chris Ortiz came along, and I took him to this park now, the one I skated in 101, the one I skated Trilogy and 20 shot. I took him to that park, and I filmed a nose slide. Shot a nose slide down the rail, and he gave it to Jim Gray, and he ran in an ad. And I was like, I guess I'm on the team now. So I never got fucking paid. I never got nothing. So I remember they how did I get, we were doing the tape dollar. That's how I got money. As a matter of fact, yeah. And because they were sending me a bunch of boards, I was skating a shitload, but it was weird at the time because no one really carried Acme. You know, it was like I didn't know how it made sense, but to me it was like I would get the boards and trade them for other shit. And spray paint them. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I was trying to get it in. Yeah. And fucking me boards, and I wasn't getting money, and I liked other boards. So I was like, I would sometimes trade 2 Acme boards for 1 World board. I swear to fucking God. Like,
oh man.
like seriously, like, because that's what I wanted to ride, and the Acme boards is what I couldn't ride. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something like, if I would have kept riding those boards are kind of heavy and shit. You know what I'm saying? So if I kept riding those boards, I don't think I would have gotten to the next level to meet Kareem and all those guys. You know, like I don't think my skating would have stepped up whatsoever, because back then you could tell the difference in a board. You know what I mean? Like, you 1% could tell like what a good board was and what a good board was and what just a skateboard was. And so we all got out to Cali around 92, 93. It was me, Bear Hughes, my buddy Robert Camp. I forgot who else, but we all were in San Diego, man. I'm sorry. Let me back that up. We were in San Jose. We stayed yeah, dude. And do you remember that kid, Jimmy? He was from New York. He skated for J.J. Rogers' company. What was J.J. Rogers' company called? Remember that thing? Dude, oh my God.
Fusion, right?
It had like an early Black Label vibe to it too. It was a dope company too, man.
Wasn't it Confusion?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but
like Phil wrote for it, Phil Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah, and Joe Lopes.
And the kid's name was Jimmy something. He was a really good street skater. I cannot remember his name.
From San Jose?
No, he lived in San Jose at the time, but he was from New York.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
It'll come to me in a minute, but Jimmy let us all stay at his house, and we had back then Bear Hughes was dating some chick, and she got a credit card, so he was swiping the card everywhere. She worked at like a Piccadilly cafeteria or something, and she came home and like, all these people left their credit cards, and Bear wasn't really sponsored at the time. Bear's like, fuck, give it to me. So he started going all the dude, check this out. So we had access to all this free stolen money, right? What do? Not go buy food. We went and I bought a rap tape from every letter of the alphabet, and then went and bought a bunch of candy. That's literally what I did. I had access to as much money as I needed to, which is free as fuck. Probably could have went to prison. And my dumb ass bought, 26 fucking rap tapes. And that's what I remember about, my first trip to Cali, man. We went to, and then after that, I went to San Francisco, stayed with Jamie Thomas for a little while.
Oh, you did?
I stayed with him and Drake Jones. That was kind of short lived, but Jamie hooked it up, got me on indie, and I think that was it. Like,
that's when you have all that footage, right?
Sorry?
there's footage in the Acme video of like EMB, Hubba,
Yes.
Miley. There's like a bunch of SF spots.
Yep. Jamie Thomas filmed all of that.
Oh,
Yep. And
okay.
a lot more too. And funny story about that is I just found this out recently. There's some shop in Pensacola, I want to say, called Beach Plus. And they did a video back then, and Jamie put my footage in his video part. And I'm like, hold on. Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I found this out in like 2019. I'm like, whoa. Hold on. What? I mean, I don't really want to say how I feel about filmers and photographers and hanging on to footage and all that kind of shit. Like, actually, I will say it. I think it's lame as fuck that photographers and filmers, they kind of forget the reason they're there. You know
like
what I mean?
If they're dictating where your footage is going to go.
Exactly. It's like, dude, you are 100, like, this is a subject. You know what I'm saying? Like never forget that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people fucking forget, like, oh man, I got to get my footage from da-da-da. It's like, nah, bitch, you got to give me my footage. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't a negotiation. Like, you should keep that same energy when you ask me to come out and film for you or shoot a photo when I ask you for my shit back. You know, and especially later on, like as adults, you know, like the excuses and bullshit I've gotten is like, dude, really? Like, I know you motherfuckers on Instagram all types of day and night. You know what I mean? I see the shit. I see y'all on there. Y'all on there like trying to get bitches, all kind of shit. I know y'all can find someone when somebody don't tag you in their shit. You know what I mean? Somebody don't tag you in the photo, like, the dude's up there fingers, quick as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you forgot to tag, like, bitch, like, it ain't about him. You know what I mean? And if you feel that way about it, you should have posted it. So it's a weird dichotomy with like skaters and videographers and footage, because it's like, why don't you just give it to the skater? You know what I mean? Like, you've already been compensated by literally letting someone work for you for fucking free. You know what I'm saying? Like you're skating. You're the one skating. I understand all that shit costs money and time is money and stuff, but it's like, we're the ones doing the hard part of the job. You know what I mean? So like, you not being lenient to us is weird as fuck. And especially if it's something you've already been paid for, you know, if it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, because I was gonna say, I mean, I've filmed, so I'm trying to think of a way to express it, but it's like, if me and you are working on, we don't even know, and we're out filming, that's one thing, as opposed to like, hey, I'm working for Thrasher, you're filming with me, this is going for Thrasher, unless we have that discussion. Like, absolutely. I need to get my Elwood part together. Okay, I'll help you with that. And then we have a relationship. But if it's just like, I don't know, dude, I'm just filming this dude, and then like, I'm going to fucking put the footage over here, like whether or not, whatever he's like, that's weird. I mean, communication is key for everything, right?
It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to even find out stuff like that is like
your footage should never wind up, or photos should never wind up somewhere as a surprise. Like, yo, I'm in 411.
Exactly, dude. It's like, it's weird to like, I see it all the time now, dude. I'm like, where the fuck was this photo from? You know what I mean? And like, and then a lot of things too, over the last couple of years when I quit drinking, one of the first things I wanted to do was put together an actual portfolio for my mom. You know, I've always wanted to do that, like get the actual, you know, like, and like, it's just something I've really, really wanted. I know she would really appreciate it. And, you know, like my mom's she's a professional hoarder. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's very neat, but she has tons of stuff all over the place.
Does she have one of every board you've ever had?
She's got them everywhere. They're like in the garage, like she had a house catch on fire. One of them got smoke up it. Like, I'm just like, but she just loves to have all of our stuff, whether it's family pictures and stuff. So I always thought it'd be cool to like make like a nice portfolio and give it to, you know, it's me from a kid to like all the skating stuff. And trying to get the photos, man, was like, I just gave up. You know what I mean? I was just like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, why should that be a thing? Why should that be hard? You know what I mean? Like, I know you motherfuckers got them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got them. I know the dude doing the Dropbox commercial has my fucking pictures in a Dropbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let me get back to Bitch, all you gotta do is type my name, fucking Dropbox. You know what I'm saying? I see you right there in the commercial talking about black people and skating on the Dropbox. Now I gotta wait for my picture. Gotcha. You know what I mean? It was like that with a lot. It was like that with a lot of people. So I just gave up, man. And that was kind of the inspiration behind doing the Ali Lama, man, and putting out a lot of my old graphics again, because I'm not going to be able to get that stuff back. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to fight tooth and nail. Like I ain't spanking them. They ain't going to be like, yes, sir, here you go, boss. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna run to give me my shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like it's best that I have my own thing and be able to go back out and shoot some photos and things like that. Like, because this ain't really playing fair. You know what I mean? Until you say something like this, you know, like, I guarantee after this comes out, I see a bunch of my photos in my inbox. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, and there's the like you said, the Instagram hero that like he's got it all for him, but then when it's the subject, maybe it's like, I don't have time to dig. But like when I'm trying to get my 100 likes, I know right where it is. Like,
if you want the likes, I will give them to you. I swear to God, I will tag you 500 times. Like, I don't know what the importance of it is, and it's like you've done so much, you've done so many of them. You know what I mean? It's like, at this point, even giving back should be the least of your worry. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dog, you're out shooting, like you're making lots of money doing. Like, a lot of these guys are like, they stepped outside of skateboarding, which is great for them. I'm not even knocking that. It's great for them. But forget where the fuck you came from. You know what I mean? Like, never forget you were that little crusty dude with a camera and you were asking people to shoot photos for you and shit like that. Like, I never forget who I am as a skater. You know, I go to a little shitty park. It ain't a shitty park. I grew up skating worse stuff than that. You know what I'm saying? You never forget where you come from. A lot of these dudes forget where they come from, or like that kind of energy can be saved to just create new stuff. You know, at the end of the day, man, it's like, you know, and even doing stuff like this, you know what I mean? It's like I've been asked to do 9 Club and stuff like that. And to me, I always felt like, and it's not a knock against 9 Club. I feel like there's other people more deserving to do that. And then on top of that, I really feel like once you kind of step outside of skateboarding, you kind of lost me. You know what I mean? Like I like what you do. You take all the old, like, I love what you do. Like I would be this is great. This is a platform. I'm like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, this is straight skateboarding shit. Like, I saw you had some lady, some actress or some shit. Well, she's kind of fine though. What's her IG?
What's up?
Hey. But yeah, man, I like doing more culture-based stuff. I'm not saying they're not, but you know, I feel like at this point it doesn't matter when I go on, you know, because you're kind of lost the sauce with all that stuff, you know. And I feel like I'd rather stick to the skate stuff at this point. Like, I love Kelly, I love Chris, I love all those guys, but I feel like there's other people that should be on that before me. Just like with doing this, man. Like, I saw you, I was like, man, look at that dude's lineup. Yeah, like, I've been trying to get fucking John Gibson on the phone forever.
I don't even answer questions like that.
You got all the dudes. You know what I mean? I'm like,
but it's like you got the experience, you know what I mean? It's like me and John have had moments together. So I can call him up and be like, John, it's Schmitty, right? It's not like I'm a fan, obviously, but I'm also a friend. And like a lot of the things work like that, where it's like, I mean, we'll get into it later because I can't wait to talk to you about podcasting and your perspective. But like when you go from Ron Allen as number 1 to Chet Childress number 2, the thought process on that is all I want to talk about. But you know what I mean?
I love the random curveballs, dude. It's the greatest thing in the world. I fucking love it. Yeah. Everyone thought I was about to go Mount Rushmore, and I was like, hit the brakes on him real quick. Got Chet out. Then I got Mark Oblo, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, I think that's cool because all those guys have very interesting stories to tell. You know, and like Chet and I, for instance, you know, we've known each other since we were kids, man. We were teammates. We were like 16, you know, and I'm
when he had glasses and shit, right?
I mean, I just remember being enamored with him. And before I was even teammates with him, we'd seen in Easternburg, all the NSA contests. And we were just like skating fast, fluid. Like, no one was skating like that dude. And no one did like him. You know,
he could do that lean disaster since he was born, like everywhere, anytime.
man, his backsmiths and his just anything, dude, anything that dude, he just mastered the art of making tricks look great. You know what I mean? Which is, he proved quality over quantity. He proved it. You know, he's like the antithesis of it. When people are like, oh, you know, all he did is like, no. Like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? When like all them power dudes, all they were doing was crossbones. You know what I mean? Like, no one thinks about that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to discredit like a dude like, oh, you know, Chet only had like blunt size. And just like, yeah, he did it. Like, he did other shit, but that's the shit that looked good. People wanted to shoot that shit. Like, you know what I mean? That's like being mad at Michael Jackson for doing the fucking moonwalk. You know what I'm saying? That's his shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's his shit. Of course, that's what he's going to do. And like, and so I always found those guys, like, when they, you know, since we were kids, they were interesting. They stuck with it, you know? And like, a guy like Chet is a very interesting story. It's like, who the fuck puts their bike on it? Like, who runs their bike around Europe? You know what I'm saying? Like just some random dude from North Carolina is just like, fuck it, dude, a bike around Europe and draw little weird squiggly things on napkins. Like, that shit is awesome. You know, and, you know, most other dudes are sitting at home, pissed off about their career, fucking pissed at skating, and he's just kind of doing his thing. And I thought it was a good therapy for both of us. You know, I was kind of going through some shit at the time too, so it was a great therapy for both of us to be able to laugh and let some things out. And you know, because we're friends, man, like you said, and I think that's more important. It's more important to put out the stories of people that I feel connected to and that I feel like I'm genuine friends with. You know, like I have a genuine connection with them, not like, hey man, you want to come on the show? And it's like for what? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what, like, I don't even know if you guys even fucking skate. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, you know, like I feel like skating is something I still love, you know, and I want to be around the skaters. You know, I look at it just like cooking. Like I don't like hanging out with chefs. Like, I find chefs to be, for the most part, not all of them, I find them to be very entitled and fucking, you know what I mean? Like they forget where they came from. You know, like they'd rather point and tell you what to do instead of lead by example. Like, I would rather go pick some dishes up in dish pit and bring them back. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather bring them back to the line, stack my line up instead of being like, fucking dishwasher, I need plates. You know, it's not like there's just a difference in, like, I've always felt more comfortable around the people. You know, the people make me more comfortable, not the money, not whoever everyone thinks. And like, that shit does nothing for me, man. Like, I always be a skater and a real ass dude at the end of the day. And the rest of that shit don't even bother me, man. Like, I've never been enthralled by, you're like, oh man, you're Clyde. That shit's never done nothing for me, dude. Like, I've just always been a regular old dude. Right. You know, I think that staying grounded is what's helped me get through a lot of things, you know, get through skating and, you know, remember where I came from, man. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, all this shit can be over with, you know, like, and just knowing that, and it's like, but that's not true. It's not all going to be over with. You know, it's like a lot of people look at it like, it's all going to be over with. It's like, no, that was just one chapter of your life, dude. You know what I mean? Like you can still enjoy skating. You can still have all your skate, but you just don't think about it like that. You think about it like that's what you enjoyed out of it. You know what I mean? Like, when you start, you forget where you came from. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, I'm not making the fucking money, and I'm not like, and it's like, you weren't making money to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't have all this shit to begin with. So like, what did make you? You know what I mean? Like, the people made you. Being a regular dude, hanging out, going to the shop, kicking it, like, you know what I mean? Going skate with your friends, just sitting there kicking on the curb, talking about skate. Like, that's the shit that drives me to this day still. Like, the rest of it, like, I don't need to be on nobody's, you know, like doing this is a lot more fulfilling to me than doing a lot of other shit. You know, I feel like I can talk to you about skate, like I can open up to you about this kind of shit. Like, someone else will be like, man, remember that time in Jackass? You're like, dude, here.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. It's cool. I think because I've been doing this like over 3 years, maybe this is the 4th year. I don't really know, but it feels like when you start doing things in repetition, like it's like skateboarding, and the fact that you try the same trick over and over till you get it the way you like it. Same thing with the podcast episodes. It's like, I'm always looking at, oh man, my style sucked on that one. I got to improve the game. Dude, what was that question? Like, you always are picking apart and you want to perfect. And like, for me, the life goal is to always learn and improve. And compete with yourself. Fuck Nine Club, whoever else is out there doing it. Like, that's what I always say to people, like, your comments about this is better or that's worse. It's like, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear is this is better than my last episode. That's what I want to hear. This one, dude, you're getting better. Like, you seem smoother now, or like whatever, like you're articulating or whatever it is. Like, it's like, that's what's up. Like, I don't care about if Tom Cruise is better than me. Of course he is. He's a bazillionaire. Like, whatever. Like, Joe Rogan. Yeah. Okay. Fuck. Who cares? Like, this is my world. This is my world.
I don't got Joe Rogan connects or Joe Rogan money. I can't worry about Joe Rogan shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, man. The other day, because Chris Cole, I love Chris Cole. I think he's an awesome skateboarder, awesome guy. Someone posted a clip on, I think it was Classic Clips, and it was he was an FDR, and they showed, and I know they did it just to fuck with him, but they showed him push up, a little nipple in the middle of the big thing in the back. They showed him push up it, and he pushed Mongo, and like a lot, like, if he's pushed. Fucking Jason Dale pushed Mongo. People think he's somehow the coolest dude in the world. But Chris Cole used to push Mongo, right? So Chris Cole, like someone's like, oh shit, he pushed Mongo, and like all I wrote was like, I'm here for all of this. And so me and Chris just kind of laugh it off, whatever. And then Chris posted a clip I forgot, it was like a week later, and he was pushing up, and like I just wrote, push with the wrong foot. Because he pushed correctly. And I was like, oh, you pushed with the wrong foot. And some kid gets in there like, it don't matter what foot he pushed with. He's better than you. And I'm just like, and at first I was going to say something to the kid, and I'm just like, who the fuck cares? Like, we're both better than you. Like, that's all that matters. Like, I don't think that dude, like, that wasn't his thing, is to like, and that wasn't my intentions, is to be better than Chris Cole or better than Eric Costin, or that was never my intentions. Like, always my biggest competition was myself. Just like you're saying, with skating and with the podcast, I used to kind of think about it too much. And if you overthink it, you'll overdo it. You'll always overdo it, especially with like social media shit and like social media as in the podcast. You see it. I did a lot of studying before I did this, and you see a lot of guys. It's like they're mentally going through it. You know what I mean? Like, you can see it. Like, it's like they're trying to be on the camera. Yeah, man, just out here skating, my boy. It's like, dog, you are dying inside. You know what I mean? Like, you are literally like you are like spiritually broken man. You know what I'm saying? Like, all them likes and that $50-$60 from Google ain't gonna do nothing, man. Because once you start living and dedicating yourself to that stuff, and you're looking at your numbers and like the stuff that you can't really you have no real control over. All you have control over are the things that are gonna make you happier. And that kind of other shit that's kind of, people can manipulate that kind of shit. Numbers and, that shit's easy. I see that shit all the time. Yeah. I see it all the time, so it's like, once you start getting into your head with that kind of shit, like, you already lost, but once you go in and like, when I first started doing the podcast, like, the sound was off and everything was off, but I knew the product was good. But I was like, I didn't give up, because I was like, you know what? That just means I can get better. And if I stop, and a lot of people are like, man, you should go here. You should, these people, like, bands will probably buy it. And then I'm just like, why would I do that? I was like, because if I start at the top, I have nowhere to go but down. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, if I start in the middle, I have nowhere to go but up or down. But if I start at the bottom, I have nowhere to go but up. You know what I'm saying? And like, so it's all on me from that point. And anything that goes wrong or anything like that, it's on me to fix it. It's not like, and then when I do fix it, I will feel better about it. The person that doesn't get it or understand it, that's not my fucking problem. You know what I mean? It's like everything isn't perfect. You know what I mean? And even if it was perfect, they're going to fucking complain anyways. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're literally going to complain. Dude, you could absolutely perfect. You could do a fucking show with a unicorn farting fucking paisley dust. And people be like, the paisley dust didn't have green in it. You know what I mean?
It's insane. You're like, wait a minute, which part of this did I invite you to? And which part of it did I charge you for?
Exactly.
Get the fuck off me. Like, I'm providing something that I want to do on my own time for free. If you like it, welcome to the party. If you ain't into it, peace out. That's it. No one needs you here to talk shit. Like, I see
those kind of people as like you know, you see like random videos, like someone like a fucking idiot, like some lady in Starbucks yelling like, this place sucks. And you're like, well, just fucking leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just leave. Go get a fucking, if this place sucks, go get you a fucking coffee at the gas station and tell me what, you know what I mean? Like you just, some people just want to be heard and want to be seen, and
that's true.
And they don't appreciate things, you know, and like and everything's not going to be perfect. And doing this stuff is, you know, it's not easy, dude. It's like, you know, it's taken us a while to link up, and like it's just, man, who's one guy, dude? Who the hell was the last guy I was trying to link up with? Donger was the last guy, and I'm just like, yeah, like me and Donger were talking. I'm like, sweet, dude, I'm getting Donger. I had Donger John Reeves. I'm like, this is gonna be fucking great. Like I was gonna put them together, and then I just kind of lost Donger in the shuffle, and then I just kind of had to be like, you know what, man, it's just like that sometimes. Like I can't be bummed, and when he does come on, I'll appreciate it. You know, like I appreciate it. In the meantime, like I keep it going, and some more people fell through, and I'm very happy with where it's at. I really am. There's some things that I haven't monetized it yet. I don't want to. I don't want the people that listen to, I don't want my demographic, which is mainly the 30 to 50, you know, that's our demographic. No matter, I don't want those guys to be listening to a cool story and be like, fucking Tide podcast. Yeah, you're just like, dude, like, not like, it's something, I feel like it's something I can give back for free. And then also there's other ways to make money advertising, you know, and I've already done that. I've done a couple promos where I charge these guys. We do an interview. I did one with Scott Weber. He's a lawyer that does everyone's trademarks and skating. Actually, I'll hook you up with him if you want. He does everyone's. They're like, I know who does and who doesn't own their fucking name. Like, yeah, you know. So he knows. Yeah, I know exactly. I can tell exactly who don't own their shit. So there's a lot of people ain't stepping off and doing their own thing, and that's something I want to talk to you about too, man. Is some skateboard related shit, but
okay.
So it's you know, it's just a learning process, man. I've been doing it a year and a half now, a little over a year and a half. I took a huge pause when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up in Massachusetts. I took a huge pause, get my head right and shit, and I just kind of wanted to go back into it a lot differently. You know, when I first started doing it, I had a guy that was doing Ashy Larry. I forgot his real name, but he has a podcast. And he does it with some dude who used to be a skater, fucking graffiti writer, you know, the typical skate graffiti writer. So he wanted to get involved, and I'm sure you've known this. You know, I just want to get involved. I don't want nothing. That is never in the fucking history. That is the greatest lie since slavery. You know what I mean? That is like that's probably how they got all the black people on the boat. Like, look, man, I don't want nothing. You know what I mean? You guys just hop on this boat. Yeah, let's go to this boat. We want nothing from you guys. I'm just going to give you a ride. I swear to God. You guys want to ride across the river? I fucking got you. So this guy's like, this guy's like, I'm going to help you out. So he does the first couple episodes, and I noticed the sound levels are off. And I was like, you know what? I kind of talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, and he didn't fix it. And I'm just like, you know what, man? And it wasn't detrimental. People were listening, but it was just something I was kind of being picky about, you know? And then one time I listened to the episode, and like, also, I forgot to mention this part. So when I first did the first episode, I interviewed Ron Allen for 2.5 hours and did it in my ex-girlfriend's car, sitting in the car on Zoom, talked to him for 2.5 hours. Got to the end of the Zoom, realized I wasn't recording.
Oh.
So the next day I had to do it again. I had to call Ron back and apologize. We did it again. I did it in my girlfriend's closet. My first one was done in her closet. Got this guy on board. He wants to edit all this shit. And I'm like, fucking sweet. Get this guy to edit. And so before I sent it, he's like, yeah, man. So what I did, I still have the paperwork in my house. I did a written log of like, okay, 0:10:38 to 0:11:22. Like I literally wrote all of this, like interstatic, and like just wrote it down like a fucking caveman. And it's like not even thinking like, oh, I can put this, like I can do voice to text. Like I literally have all this written down. Would send this all to him. So I was laying out the entire framework. All you had to do was grab this stuff and like do little tweaks.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. He got too busy. First he offered to do it. Then he's like, oh man, I'm super busy. And I'm like, this is why I don't fuck with people. This is why oh man, I got you. And I'm just like, dude. So he got too busy, and then I listened to, I think it was like the Mike York episode, and you can hear it in one of the episodes. In like one of the sound bites, it repeats itself. It's like a sound clipping, and it's like, and I'm listening to it, and like by then I was kind of fed up. I'm like, dude, like, are you listening to this shit? You know what I mean? And he's like, he gets snippy with me, and I'm like, dog, really? And I'm like, I was like, you know what? Say less. Fucking hung up on him. Never called him back. Then I remembered, I was like, fuck, this dude has my files for like, you know what I mean? Like, so I had to be like, hey dude, like, cause I didn't know, like, I didn't have like the intro. I didn't have like the bumpers. Cause that's his voice that says WCR. That was all him. And okay. I was like, hey dude, where are those bumpers and everything? I had to call this dude back that I straight up said, fuck you two, like a day before, like, hey man, I kind of need this stuff to put my episode together. and luckily, he left it in our Google share folder, dude. So I just took it from there and just took it and started running. And slowly but surely started tinkering with stuff. And until I got to the second season, I didn't really know how to do sound levels and shit. So it was a whole learning process, man, you know, and doing a lot on the road. And I finally got a mic. Peanut Brown, shout out to Peanut Brown, bought me a mic. Like, yeah, dude. Like, so I was just learning as I was going, and like I just really wanted to get everyone's story out at the end of the day, you know. And I didn't want to do the video thing because when I was doing it, I was just like, I was just like, well, shit, he's kind of doing the same. I was like, well, he's kind of doing his own lane thing, and I was like, I kind of knew who I wanted to do, you know. I was like, he's digging deep. And I was like, I kind of knew that. I knew the era, the specific era I wanted to do. And at first it started off with the whole Ricky Oyola thing. It was going to be Ricky Oyola because I don't know if you remember, I did a thing. I wrote up when I was doing Black History Month. I wrote a thing on Javante. It was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? No, a year ago. And it was, and it said, Javante put his hands on one of your favorite East Coast professional skaters. And fucking here comes Ricky, like, whoa, like a bat out of hell. Came flying in my comments, like, no, he jumped in my DMs and like was talking to me crazy. I'm like, dog, first off, I didn't even say your name. Second off, like, I tried to play cool. I was like, hey man, I didn't even say your name, and you know, maybe you might want to reread that. And I hope all is well. You know, I was trying to make all like try to make everything all white. and like and then I think he read it and he was cool with it. And then something like, I wrote something and it had nothing to do with that. And I guess he was bubbling and came in my comments and said something. And I was just like, that when I started the podcast, I was like, you know what, fuck, because he was like in my DMs talking crazy. And I was like, hey man, he's like, I got family in Florida or something. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about your family. Like, I was like, hey man, how about this? Why don't you come see your family? Me, you can jump in the ring, we can box. You know what I mean? Like it ain't even nothing like that. I was like, we can fucking donate the money, whatever. Like, I'm not one of them kids that's scared of you. Like, what the fuck? And like, look at how mad you are over a story. Like, you're mad? You know what I mean? You're mad that you scream nigger? Like, so the first episode was supposed to be him. I offered him to come on the show.
Oh.
And so it's instead of talking all sassy to me in my fucking in my DMs, you could have just came on like this and like, you know what I mean, spoke your piece or apologized or whatever you wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like fuck this guy and like don't like no, he took it to that point. And then I was like, you know what, man, fuck it, like come on the show. You know what I mean? You could be the first guest, and that was gonna be the very first podcast. Everyone thought I was gonna do this, at first I had an idea of doing like the history of black skating podcast, and I was like, oh, that's going to end pretty quickly. You know what I mean? like it ain't like we have like that's probably go like 3/4 of a year. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck.
Like it wouldn't go that far. And so that was going to be the first one. And I had an original IG page, and dude, it had like over 10,000 people in the first 3 days. It blew because like that thing was blowing up, that whole thing. And
the way you rolled it out was killer. Like I forget exactly what was going on. What I love is you take like an analytic approach. Like you'll be like, okay, everyone knows Jason Dill's great, but why is he great? Look at this look at Gino's push right here. And like you go to a specific thing and you're like, see that fucking thing? That's what we appreciate. And you express it really like it ain't just some vague notion like, oh, Gaunt's is the best. Video days is my favorite video. Okay, what's next? It's like, no, fucker. Like, why is it the best? Because look at this fucking shit right here. And you're really good at that. Like, and it seems like, I don't know if you do a lot of like side, like investigating real quick, but otherwise it seems like you're remembering a lot of important things.
Yeah, that was probably Ricky's problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like I remember shit like, you know, same thing happened with like Jim Gray. You know what I mean? Like me and fucking Chet Childress came down. We were kids. We came out to California for the NSA finals, and we stayed at Jim Gray's house. And for some fucking reason, he locked us in some room, like feral animals. You know what I mean? Like literally locked us in a room. Like, you guys don't come out of this room. This is at his house. We were just like, we were kids. We were like looking at each other like. And we stayed in the fucking room, which is even weirder. But to this day, it's like looking back as a grown man, you're like,
what was that?
What the fuck was that? You know what I mean? And like, and having a memory to remember shit like that is like, I say this. A liar's worst enemy is someone with a great memory. This guy. You know what I mean? Like I just remember shit. Like I remember the first fucking place I ate, first time I went to Europe. I remember the first place I smoked a joint in fucking Amsterdam. Like I remember shit. Like, I don't know, man. I was no dummy in school. You know, clearly I was fucking smart when it came to tests. I can remember shit. And it's just one of those things, you know, people have very you know, they have memories. They want the things they want to remember, you know?
Yeah, selective memory. It's my wife gets mad at me all the time because I can't remember the high school her grandma went to, but I can remember what trick was on page 4 in 1984. Like, it's like, how do you know a tray flip back? Like, I don't know. It's a curse and a blessing. And sometimes like some things, if I don't remember, I can ask someone. Like, I had to ask Charlie Thomas. I was like, did you skate for Epic before or after Toxic? And he's like, damn, how'd you remember that? And I was like, I don't remember which sequential order it went in. You know, like, because people don't remember shit like Epic. You know what I mean? And like a lot of dope companies like that. And I think that's what's important about what we both do, man. It's like we get to educate people, you know, and like seeing like the older people, man, get stoked to like tell their story. That's heartwarming shit, dude. I don't care what anybody says. That shit makes me feel great inside. Like, to just get happy people get. And another thing that fucking stokes me out, man, is like, even guys like yourself, is to see people come in and like happy for people. You know what I mean? Like that shit makes me so happy. Because skateboarding right now is such a, you know, it's such a selfish fucking sport. And like people, you know, it's not like, we were just discussing this the other day. How like, back in the day, it was a rite of passage to put your boy on. You know what I mean? Like when Kane got on, Kane put me on. You know, Kane Gale put me on. He got on, boom. He was like, he's taking me everywhere with him, taking me to contests. That was a fucking Sal gets on, put Charlie Thomas on. You know, it was like Mike Crum, fucking Christian. You know, that was the thing back in the day. Right. Now it's people are selfish. You know what I mean? And like, and then you don't see them congratulating even like an older dude from like from their area. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you get a guy like John Reeves or someone, you're expecting to see all these like San Diego dudes coming there, and you're just like,
but you see all the old skaters coming there and like stoked on them, and like that kind of shit that's what it's for. You know, I think that's our lane. That's what we're here for. I think that's our calling. You know what I mean? Like from doing media for years and stuff, and there's ways we could have went with this. You know what I mean? Like I could have went with the whole racist dude, like not racist, but you know, the whole Ricky Oyola, him screaming. Like I could have started with that, and then that would have left me with that demographic. You know what I mean? That would have left me with like the catty ass sassy dudes. I'm not trying to do that shit. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be that dude that's fucking doing reaction videos and shit. Like I ain't doing all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a purpose for what we're doing, and it's to educate people, and it's to make people happy. And those are the two fucking most important things to me in life. Is like, you know what I mean? To teach people and to make people happy there's nothing more important to me. Like if I can do that at the end of the day, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a we both do, man. It's a beautiful thing, dude. It is.
It brings me back to a time where, like, you know, when you're a kid, it's all new and exciting. And these dudes were that reason. Like now, like you do get jaded as you get older and everything happens. So like, I'm still stoked to see Cater, you know, like he fires me up, but like, it's different. Like seeing Mark and Natas like wall rides for the first time and Danny Sargent up on a handrail. What is going on? Like, you know, like that is like, don't ever forget Danny Sargent. Like he 50-50 the handrail full. Like you guys are Smith grind, crooked grind, everything. Like, but this guy was doing it when no one even thought about doing that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. I always say that like thinking about doing it seems to me harder than doing something better than already exists. And that, you know, and that's the old guy in me. I'm sure it's like, yeah, the old guy, but it's true to me. It's like, if you want to like write Star Wars, like what the hell was that? But like you want to put Han Solo up now on TV. It's like, okay, you just phoned that one in. Like it was like the guy already existed. Like it's like, come on.
I mean, it's a thing too, though. You know, it's I don't know, man. Like I love looking at old photos. You know, like everyone uses the internet kind of differently. You know, I don't watch TV like at all. I watch sports. You know, I don't watch TV. I barely watch any shows. Like I own a TV, but I use it to edit my podcast. You know what I mean? Like I don't watch TV. I don't have cable or nothing. Like I never, and that's just not important to me. But I like looking. I love looking through old photos on like old photos, old video. Like it generally makes me very happy. Like it's like some people like finding porn. Some people, you know what I mean? Some people like looking at fucking, you know what I mean? Like all these weird chicks on IG and shit. Like I generally love finding old skateboard shit. I love it, man. It makes me so happy. Like I just found an old picture of Gons doing judo at Wallows, and he's wearing fucking Jordans, and I'm like, you can't beat that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I don't care how many you little doofy dudes are doing what with fucking whoever. I don't care if you guys got a fucking Supreme Gucci skateboard. I don't care. That shit is like, because all the new shit is here today and gone tomorrow. That shit is still the test of time. You know what I mean? But like some video parts, like I was just talking to my man about this in the skate shop. We were just talking about Tashawn's part. Tashawn's awesome video part, right? You know what's sad about it? Give it 2-3 weeks. You know what I mean? It's gonna be lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's like
there's so much.
It's so much in the way that they feel like they should be pumped out too. You know what I mean? It's like they feel like the iron should strike it, and it's like, dude, you don't always have to put out a video part. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna forget about you. People don't understand having a mystique is part of skateboarding. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what the fuck Spidey looked like, but I bought the shit out of his board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew what it looked like, and that's all I needed to know. I'm not, dude. This ain't Teen Beat. I don't need to see a picture of you all the time. Like have a picture of, like those days are gone. You know, like there's a reason we had the photos and shit on our wall, because they were like, that's timeless shit, dude. It's time. Like you go back and you think all the photos you have on the wall and like how they were taken, and like, I mean, just think of how many different no comply photos you've seen. You know what I mean? Now you see one kick a photo, you seen them all. You know what I'm saying? Like you see somebody floating over a rail, you just turn the page. Cool, he's flipping over a rail. You don't even care what he's doing. Look at him, he's flying through the air. Cool. Well, he got a shoe. Cool. We got a shoe coming out next month. Awesome. Don't even care. You know, it's not like, and it sucks for those guys, especially a guy like Tyshawn. You know, he's awesome skateboarder, super awesome skateboarder. And another thing, check this out. Another thing I said, it's fucking great. I fucking love it. Another thing that's great about that dude.
I fuck with this cover because Atiba's in the train tracks at 4 a.m. shooting it too.
Hey, you know who ain't holding that up? Jason Dill. Hey. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I was telling my man this. I was like, they wrote that fake ass goodbye letter. Like, sorry guys, the slaves are gone. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for the work, boys. You know, I was like, that shit ain't gonna matter. What's gonna matter is when they go on to the next step, is seeing how they treat them guys. When that dude gets a video part, they start a new company. If they fucking post some guys up, that's a thank you. You know what I'm saying? That's showing you respect them dudes. Like, you respect where they go in the future. All that, like, thanks for what you did for me. Like, fuck that John Henry shit. That shit ain't gonna get y'all nowhere. Like, that's just some cool shit to cover up. You know what I'm saying? It's like those type of dudes, like, I feel like they're in a weird position. You know, it's like a guy like, I think he might be a variable. He might be a Tyshawn, I believe, could do his own thing. You know what I mean? I think he's smart enough to, because he's already in another business. He already has another business. So he has a business sense. You know what I mean? He doesn't treat his skateboard career like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Or like he's just like blowing all his money, trying to look cool to people and like that don't fucking matter and shit like that. Like, he seems to have a generally smart guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he's not partying either. So I think he's got a focus that a lot of kids are going like, I'm good. Let's party. And I think Tyshawn maybe isn't worried about the party. He's like, I want to, like, you know, the one thing I was wondering though, I got to ask him is what that one shot is where he's on the couch. And I'm like, damn. Dude, he's got like a white suit on and he's chilling. I was like, they just threw that in real quick. It's like,
I think he might do great. I just, you know, I know how it is coming out of those situations. And for us, there's not a lot of opportunity, you know, and you're not going to get that same treatment when you were in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like when you step back out, and you shouldn't expect it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people have that mixed up. You know what I mean? It's like you shouldn't expect it because people don't know what they're buying. You know, people don't buy you. They don't buy Clyde Singleton. They buy the person. Now they do, now that I have my own shit, but they buy the company shit. You know what I mean? Like, and the company knows that. That's why I was going to say this earlier. And when we were talking about skating, that's why, if you think about it, man, skateboard companies are built around the company. It has nothing to do with the pro at the end of the day, because the pro has nothing that he can identify himself with. He can't just walk away from the company, and the company sells shit in like sets. You know what I'm saying? So like if say there's a like a race car set, or like Aesthetics would do it. And it's like, there's a race car set and Pro A is out there getting covers in videos, Pro B is, you know, kind of doing his thing. Pro C is, you know, kind of like, you know, he's doing his thing, skating his little ledges in his fucking town. And the other dude's just kind of chilling off his name. You're selling 4 boards. The 4 boards are very easy to sell to the skate shop, right? That's our skate shop. They're like, oh, we like pretty shit. We let you sing on the wall. That means nothing to the pro, because if you walk away from that, there's nothing anyone can identify you with. You kind of have to start over. And that was the difference between when, like, our pros that we grew up on and the pros nowadays, like the pros the last probably 20 years. Like, I was lucky enough to have something to identify myself with. Sean Cliver blessed me with that little character dude. And like,
right.
People don't know, like, even like, I just put out a shirt the other day and it has a little character on it. My buddy threw a Jason mask on it. And it's like, people, it's funny. It wouldn't, if I wrote like, Sean Cliver did this graphic, people would go crazy for it. But I feel like you don't have to say that. And at the same time, I don't expect Sean Cliver to promote it, you know, because it's not his thing. But I appreciate him giving me that little character because think about it, Caballero's got the dragon.
Right.
Mike McGill's got the skull. With this. Everyone has something they've literally taken that and you can identify them 30 years later with this, 35 years later with this. Easily. You can like Caballero, you see a dragon, you're like, oh shit, Steve Caballero. You know what I mean? Like you see an elephant, you're like, oh shit, Mike Blake.
Yeah, I mean the obvious answer is there's a bazillion pros now, and back in the day, it's just like video parts. You got 4 graphics a year minimum. Before it was like that Gons vision board was like for a couple of years at least, like probably like 4. So it's like now artists are thinking like, how do I make this many things? Oh, okay, a series. We'll do candy bars, we'll do race cars, we'll do whatever, and it'll be like that. But you're right. It's like, I mean, having your own individuality is the key to skateboarding. And that's kind of the thing that gets lost that we try as older people to tell people is like, hey man, don't be the next that guy, be the next you.
Yep. You know, it's so important, and about people don't pick up on that, you know, and I think that's something important a lot of people should know and think about. You know, it's like you go ride for all these companies and you do all this shit, you do all this work. That's great. You're doing all their legwork. What are you walking away with? You know what I mean? The least you can walk away with is your identity. Fuck your footage. You know what I mean? Your footage ain't gonna do nothing. I might get you some likes and shit on Facebook. That's easy to find, but you don't have an identity. You're gonna spend most of that time trying to recreate yourself or something like that. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I think they're just like I cannot think of the last, Ben, who was that pro we said that had like an identifiable thing? Who is that we were talking about?
The last one, like my memory as a child, or?
No, just period. The last pro with like an identifiable, like a Rob Roscott, like, you know what I'm saying?
Jason Lee with the like Americana graphic with the handgun, cigarettes. TV.
That was fucking 93. You gotta excuse this kid. He's like, this like, I think he was born in 90.
I mean, Caballero still runs the Dragon probably, like just a different version, you know, like if he has some shit, like it's that, but like, I know what you're saying. It's kind of crazy. Seriously, like without thinking too hard, I can't think of one really.
Think of one, right? It's like impossible to think of one because there isn't one. And like skate companies got smart about that shit. Like they're like, you don't want an identifying something. You know, it's like because then you could start your own thing. You know what I mean? Like if it came down to the nuts and bolts, and they're like, well, and you know, your last part ain't kicking. You're like, well, fuck you. I'm taking my little goblin skull dude over here. You know what I'm saying? But people don't have that now. And a lot of that comes with a lot of skate companies don't have an identity. They don't have an art department identity. You know, like Santa Cruz had Jim Phillips. You know what I'm saying? And like World, for the most part, like World had an identity through Cliver and McGee. You know what I'm saying? So like everyone kind of has like their little identity, but no skaters have had that. And realistically, it's been kind of since the modern skater board company era, if you really think about it, you know, like the 94, 93, 94 up, no one's got like anything that, you know what I mean? Like just think of the last few ones, like, you know, Henry had the Terminator board, and it's like, Henry's not Terminator. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even I'm not Calvin and Hobbes, but at least a little black character, you know, but then I can always use like a Halloween thing or a Christmas thing, or I can use it for my pop-ups and shit. So it's an identifiable thing. A lot of skaters like do not know the importance of just that, you know, and realistically, even little things like buying an LLC to your name, you know what I mean? Or like doing shit that like is going to like even having your website, like your name, like for like your .com and shit, like that kind of shit is like my buddy has mine. He's been holding on to it forever. He's like, dude, one day you're gonna need this. And I'm like, I done it 12 years ago. You know, I was like, whatever, dude. And here we go now. I'm like, well, shit, man. Can I you know, he's gonna give it back to me, but I'm like, little shit like that, man, as you get older, you'll realize, you know, I'm sure a lot of the older guys that you interview are probably kicking themselves in the ass, like, fuck, man. Like, you know, I wish you know, like you see, like, I think the embassy shit's dope, you know, because they're bringing back a lot of the older type graphics that you can identify with. The sort of like I saw it, I immediately thought Zorlak. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bam, Zorlak. You know, like
yeah.
It's that to me is dope instead of like them trying to come out and reinvent themselves. You know, like John Gibson's got a fucking popsicle shape and an old Zorlak. It's like, nah, dude, no. Just give us that shit with the fucking cow shit and that's the shit. That's the John Gibson shit we want. And like I think it's skateboarding. That era is so slept on, and people just don't take that kind of stuff in consideration because most pros don't think like pros. You know what I mean? They're not made to think like a pro. You know what I mean? They're made to, these dudes think like fucking IG models. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh fuck, couple bucks in a t-shirt, sweet.
Yeah. It's all about followers.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You got dudes out here doing shit like, man, and this is no diss to Palace or any of them dudes. You see the Palace thing they recently did with aesthetics?
Oh, yeah.
Know anything about Palace? I'm an old dude. I don't know. I don't know what's cool, what's not. Clearly they're cool. That's cool. They did something with aesthetics. They did a reissue. I forgot what Sal called it, tribute. I'm sitting at work one day, literally at work, on the line, fucking work a regular old job, and some dude's like, hey man, check this out. I was like, what the fuck? And it was like a video of me, and they're like promoting this aesthetics tribute stuff. I don't even like, it's like a bunch of board shirts, and these guys sell stuff for a lot of money. And, you know, the company's worth a good bit of money. You know, like they're probably gonna make a chunk of change out of this.
Yeah.
And someone's like, man, you should be stoked. And I'm like, for what? Like, what are they gonna send me like a fucking some t-shirts and some butter biscuits? Like, what am I like? So I was like, man, you should get a bunch of this shit and flip it. I'm like, you have time to be on fucking like StockX and shit? Like, bitch, send me some fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then it's not my thing. It's Sal's thing, and like I just kind of let it go to the wayside. You know, but realistically, it's like I'd rather you not give me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I got enough t-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I ain't about to be online selling your shit. What the fuck? Like, you're selling our shit. You know what I mean? You should be hitting us off.
It's crazy. I see people out there that like do worse than that, is like take somebody's shit from the old days and make it theirs without even like, they're not even trying to include you in it. They're just like trying to be like, I'm original. This is some new shit. And it's like, no, that's Tony Alva's shit back in like 88 or something. Like what, you know, like crazy.
Like I just did the Lucero board and like made an ode to Lucero. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like that's the kind of stuff like a lot of us should be doing. You know, showing our respect to those guys. And it's not like I'm not making a bunch of money. I already spent more money than I made on them boards. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like I would rather do an ode to him than try to come out with something new and corny. You know what I mean? Like because I respect that dude. You know, it's like, I look at it almost like hip hop. You know, I'm a huge hip hop fan. So it's like taking an old song and flipping it, you know, but I know where the song came from. The people that buy my shit know where the graphic reference and shit comes from. And that kind of shit I think is cool. A lot of this shit, like, plus another very important factor is I was fucking around when that board was out. So like, unlike these little dirty ass kids that was like trying to redo like the rolled up pants, the big D's, you motherfuckers are like 3 years old, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you probably weren't even outside at that time. You know, so it's like you can't recreate that. You know, and that era, we can't even recreate the 80s correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there wasn't no reason for us to recreate the 80s and the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like we were just like, we respected it and kept it and we built off of it. You know, if anything, I think we really built off of it. Like you could tell as far as the tricks and like we didn't take the fashion and stuff, but we took a lot of what they were doing, the ramps and a lot of the tricks and like just flipped it a little tiny bit. But one thing is we always held those guys in high, you know what I mean? We always held the guys before us in high respect. We always go to the contest. Everyone was respectful to them. And now, man, these kids don't even know who the fuck's who.
Yeah.
know what I mean? And like that ain't an old dude. It's not an old dude talking. It's like you should know who's who. You know what I mean? Like kids that play basketball now, like they know who dudes are from 20, 30 years ago. They know who Penny Hardaway and them dudes are. They ain't some weird dude making shoes and sweatpants. Like, hey man, you know, this is who I thought was cool. It's like, no one cares who you thought was cool. You know what I mean? Like literally, no one cares who you thought was cool because you don't know what was cool. Like literally, because you weren't there. You know what I mean? And then to try to recreate it, it's like, it's just weird, man. Between that and the big influx of oh God, man, like the hyphenated skate shit, you know, like everyone for a while was like, let's grab a bunch of black guys. You know what I mean? Like, let's grab these guys and put them in these clothes and da-da-da. And then it was like, let's grab the Native American guys. And, you know, it's just like, it's weird. It's not like
it's kind of transparent, like for another reason, it's not natural.
Or you just like, are you pandering? You know, which a lot of people are pandering right now. And it's like, that's just, it's very forced. And it doesn't mean that no one generally cares, but if you see from the places they're coming from and the places that they've been, and it's like, dude, you guys could have been doing this for like 8 years now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wonder what you think on this. This is a tough question, but since you brought it up, I feel like I can throw it out there.
All right.
What's the difference to you? What's worse or better? Or like, how do you feel about pandering versus just not acknowledging? Like, okay, I'm a woman, I'm a black person, whatever. We've been neglected, or now we're being thrown on covers and shit, but it's just for kind of like the same thing you're saying, like it's more pandering.
I think for anything, and this goes across the board. I think for anything, it's just because you do it and you're involved, that you know, it's like there's people that are well deserving of things like that, and then there's pandering. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's not even it can be kid skaters, you know, like you know, for a while there's a bunch of kids, and it's like, dude, every kid is not a good skater. Every kid that can kickflip and fly off something with a little mohawk on the helmet is not the next. Who the hell is this guy? Like that's not how it goes. You know what I mean? Like these guys, these are people that are just interested in the sport. And you know, they're getting better, which is awesome. That's awesome. If they love it and that's awesome. That does not mean just because you skateboard, you deserve a cover of a magazine or your company deserves a shoe. Or like that's pandering. You know what I mean? Just because you do it and like you had a couple of contests or like, you know what I mean? Like that's the beginning of it, man. Like think about dudes that really put in that work. Are we out here doing that with the Bostics? We give them the Bostic shoes. Think how much groundwork they put in. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give them a shoe. We're going to give them a World Cup of skating shoe.
That Danielle Bostic shoe? Hell yeah. Let's get
like, they ain't going to get them. But that's what I'm saying. You going to give them the thrasher? And then, no, they ain't. You know what I'm saying? And they have just as much or more to do with the sport than most of these guys, you know? And like, and I kind of feel like that's just some people's goal. You know what I mean? It's just like, look, we're legitimized now. And it's like, it takes a lot more than like someone pandering you to legitimize you, you know, and that goes for black people, girl skaters, anybody, you know what I mean? Anything. It goes a lot further than that. And when people can separate those two, I think it'll make more sense. You know, and that's not gatekeeping. That's just because you're going to get the feelings hurt later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like pandering will only get some people's feelings hurt down the line or have them thinking that they deserve everything. And nothing comes without hard work. Once you try to alleviate the work part of something is when you have lost. You can't alleviate that part. Everyone had to work. When someone's giving you something like that, that's very dangerous. I think that's very, very, very dangerous. What does that say to like a guy like what do you think? Like, I imagine a dude like Mark Gonzalez is probably like, who the hell is all these people? You know what I mean? That dude's put in so much work and time. He's probably serious. Who the hell are these people, man? Like what is like how is there so many people? Like, imagine that dude walking into a skateboard shop and being like, dude, just give me some bearings. I'm out of here. Like, I'm not gonna go pay to watch fucking Detroit Lions play. You know what I'm saying? Like would I go watch for free? Absolutely, of course. You know what I mean? Like would I pay to watch the Patriots play? Yes, it's a refined team. They've done shit for a long time. They put in the work. Like they got a great coach. They got a great that's and so it's weird. People want to pick and choose with skating. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, this matters, but not right there. And you're like, bitch, people don't even know what they're talking about at this point now. Everyone, I just appreciate that people are like, you know what, man, fuck it. I was selling out, man. I'm trying to get this new car. I would respect that. Like, hey, dog, like, I don't know none of these people. Like, I'm getting out of this. Like, I would respect that 100% besides, like, some fake IG post, like, you guys have been putting in a lot of work for years, but this is our first time ever acknowledging you. It's like, dog, it's fake, dude. I don't like fake shit. When Alyssa Steamer that was real. Alyssa was real. She skated in the fucking Tampa contest. She beat me. You know that she didn't beat me. She beat me. You know what I'm saying? So she was legit. She was in the video with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of sad that the pro skater is like, it's really kind of sad if you think about it. It's like the pro skater is, they know what the pro skater is. You know what I'm saying? The pro skater is fucking Nyjah, Ashad, Yuto, and all. They know what time it is. Them dudes show up at the contest, everybody's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? That was like times when them dudes showed up. Everybody thought shit was sweet. And I bet Chris Cook and all them dudes thought shit was sweet until Mike Vallely and them pulled out there. It's like, oh shit. Like, yo, like, we ain't gonna be G-turning this bitch all day.
Right.
That can go for a lot of shops too, like shops out here making boards and shirts and all that shit. Like, I understand it to a limited thing, but it's like, what happened to being a fan and supporting skateboarding? You know what I'm saying? Like literally like supporting skateboarding. Not like, it's always been about what's cool and shit like that, but shops are even confused now. They're letting the consumer run them. Like, the average consumer is not very fucking smart. That's being honest. Like, they're not very smart. If you can sell them a skateboard for someone that you don't even know who the fuck they are, you know what I mean? Like, dude, Polar is the greatest thing that's ever happened to skateboarding. That shit shows you that you can sell a skateboard with some shit on the bottom, and he is a genius. No one else can be able to do that. I don't know one person on that fucking team. I literally cannot, like, Pontus and here, let me look.
Yeah.
There's some dude. Hey, does that Japanese dude with like the fucking 6-syllable name, Rodford? Does he? All right, yeah, that dude too. Hey, yo, so look, I don't know who none of them dudes are. Them dudes got boards all up and down the wall in here. That shit is amazing. You know, and like
that video was incredible.
He is smart enough to kind of to control the consumer. You know, like he's like, oh, you like this? Cool, I'm gonna do this. You know, he's like, oh, you guys like boards with all them cool guys doing all the video parts? Ha, that's cool. I'm gonna put out a board with like shiggy knocking or whatever the dude. Quasi's a great new upstart. I'm trying to think who else is independent. This guy, obviously, Strange Love is cool, but they don't got any. I'm like, that shit's genius too. They don't even got no riders.
Yeah. Everything he does, he's my favorite artist though. He's just
I love Sean. Sean is fucking the Stanley of skateboarding. I don't care what anyone says.
That's true.
He didn't make everyone forget about Jim Phillips, but he did a damn good job of like creating his own lane. And you know, like the people that know Jim Phillips know him, but only people know like Sean. Dude, he had like a fucking him and Mark McKee had like a decade where like they were pretty much running graphics. You know what I mean? Like, that's long run. You know, so him putting out a skateboard product makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It literally makes sense for him to not have a team and sell skateboards. You know, but a lot of people don't really know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? They want to be the next biggest thing, and so they follow the trends. Like that's what they do, man. There'll be another Talkin soon. All right, so there'll be one. It'll be called Talkin Tits or something.
I like it.
I have a fake Talkin Schmit.
You just influenced somebody.
Hey, it's Corey at Blue Plate, 3218 Mission Street. Come see us. Meatloaf, fried chicken, deviled eggs, Dollar Olympia beers. We're here every day of the week. We got a garden and we got smiles on our faces. Come let us make you happy.
Head on down to your local shop. Ask Blood Wizard Skateboards. Or visit bloodwizard.com for all your conjuring needs.
I had pitched something to, let's just say, some people about doing a something you guys see now on TV or on the internet. And it was kind of a reaction video type thing, but set up like not necessarily the news. That's all I'm gonna say. You see exactly where it's at. You see what it is, and that was 15 years ago or something like that. Like I went to, Chris Casey talked about something like that too. That he did the original, Nine Club with Roger, and then they filmed it everything. They had a couple of episodes, and then he took off, went to take care of his mom in St. Louis, I believe, and then like a month later, he saw the pilot and everything, and then he realized that Roger wanted to be on camera too. You know, like you gotta watch out for a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've given a lot of people my ideas, and I'm just glad I have this one to hold on to. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's the thing is you got to make your own shit. Otherwise, you just go mad, like spending most of your life fighting for what you want it to be if it's not yours. You know what I mean? And like after a certain point, you feel like, well, I put in enough time. I deserve to have something. That was a big part of why I did this too, was because I didn't want to hear somebody else tell me that doesn't even do my job how to do my job. Like, yeah, you're a higher up, but when was the last time you made a video? Why is your perception of what skate videos is more important than mine? And I've been doing it for 20 years and you've never edited anything.
Absolutely, dude.
Because I feel like, you know, not to get too artist about it or whatever, but it's just like, it's all perception. It's like, you think that movie's good. I think it sucks. Neither of us is right. Neither of us is wrong. It's like, so same thing with skateboarding. And when did it get so serious? I just was like, let's go. Like we always had that mentality. Like when the internet first started, we wanted to put stuff up tomorrow that we were doing today. Like before Instagram, like we would go on the first skate rock trip. We put a trailer every night at the hotel on the internet saying this happened in Reading. We're coming to Portland tomorrow. Jump on board. And you felt that energy. Like that was before Instagram, where it was like, holy shit, it's coming. And look at what they did to that town. I gotta see this, you know? And that was it. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, the audio's a little off. The red is wrong. There's a part where so-and-so says something, take that out. It's like, no, dude, just get it up and move to the next. Like, let's go.
Fuck them people. Honestly, dude. Like there's people gonna always try to find a fault in you. And like, I think a lot of that comes to, man, like
it's controlling, you know, a lot of it.
Personally, I think a lot of that comes from like a lot of bitter ass people that wanted to make it in skating and it didn't really pan out. And now the internet has given the voiceless a voice. You know what I mean? It's given those guys like man, I used to hate dudes, you know what I'm saying? Or like them old ass dudes like 50, like put my board together. It's like, bitch, nobody cares. Just go skate. You know what I mean? Like, that's where all that shit came. Seriously, dude. That's where I personally think all that shit came from. It's like all the people that just didn't enjoy it, that wanted something out of it. You know what I mean?
Or they didn't get what they thought like they had coming. Like, I'm better than that dude. Why didn't I get my shit? Like we called it the bitter harvest. You know, it's just like, dude, that's like that guy's pro and I'm not. What the fuck?
Hey man, them pressure flips and them 38 millimeter wheels hurt a lot of people's feelings back. That shit people you know, it's funny. No one was happy enough with themselves to be like, I don't care what them guys are riding. And them dudes that were happy enough to stick around were like, I don't give a fuck about these new kids that are riding. Them dudes are the hardest skateboarding. Straight the fuck up. Them dudes that stuck with it, the one like, I ain't learning no fucking pressure flips and shit. Them dudes are the heart of fucking skate. Them dudes had their raggedy ass ramps, and when no one wanted to go skate them, y'all sitting on them dirty ass curbs doing nothing. Them dudes kept skateboarding alive. They kept that shit alive. Like they were still doing it every day. So were people like myself that were still doing it and seeking spots and like wanted to still learn and like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends were quitting skating. I would go skate with the older dudes. You know what I mean? Did they give me shit? Yeah. But the way to stop that is to bust their ass skating. You know what I mean? Like I came from that era. It was like the only way you were gonna shut them dudes up is out skate them. You know, like you couldn't be a little bitch like now, like go on the internet. Like, you couldn't do that shit. Yeah. Like the only way you were gonna shut them dudes up is if you went out there, you out skate them dudes. You had to Smith around that fucking pool coat, you had to do all that shit. You know, and like that's how you gain respect. You know, and like it was like that with anything. It's like you think Michael Jordan, those guys are taking someone serious who's just sitting in the crowd talking shit, or do you think he's taking someone serious who's crossed him the fuck over in the middle of the court? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And the sooner that skaters realize that kind of shit is the further they'll get in life. You know, and a lot of those people that are angry and bitter and have little dumb shit to say, they're hurting on the inside, man. Them dude's been hurting since like 92. You know what I mean? Shit the same since fucking Joe Gruber days with them dudes. Them dudes like they didn't see the shift coming. They didn't want the shift coming. They don't like nothing. You know what I mean? They didn't like skating when it changed in 92, 93. They barely like it now. The reason they're there to yell at people like me and you because their fucking wife is sick of them talking. So they give them a fucking phone. They're like, dude, just go yell at someone on the internet and shit. You know what I mean? This is some dude there with a fucking 2016 Caballero trying to talk to you all spicy. You're like, dude, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know nothing about nothing. And like most of these guys, their opinion don't matter. They ain't really did nothing. They never jumped off the fucking porch and like, you know what I mean? They never been out there like on long ass road trips filming and they're like, your shit don't matter to me. Like, I think most of those guys don't. They're envious of shit like shit like you do. It's shit like, you know, shit like we do. They're envious of that shit. Like they tell you a way they want to do it, but they would never do it. They would just like skating. You know what I mean? They could tell you how much they, oh, that guy's part sucked, da-da-da. Where's your part? Yeah. You know, like if that shit sucked, you show me what you got. If you don't, like people can talk shit about a guy like Chris Cole. You don't like Chris Cole. You don't got like Chris Cole. You know what I mean? Do I think Chris Cole looks goofy? Absolutely. Do I think he's a great skateboarder? Absolutely. Two things can be true. You know, like to a hater, only one thing can be true. And it's like he's not a guy that dresses like me. I don't like, and he'd probably look crazy if we dressed the same. But skateboarding, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like that's a lot of them guys, like they think that's how the respect comes, you know, and it's like the people that respect those kind of guys are fucking clowns too. True. People putting up little shit like that on the internet. It's like, man, fuck you and your little dap buddy. Like
I just trip. A reality show on that dude would probably not last long, but it'd be so interesting to just be like the guy in his mom's basement and he's like, and he finishes up whatever shit talk he does. And like, what does he do next? Like, does he start jumping up and down? Like, I did shit on it. Like, what happens? Like, what is like that guy's life like? You know, like, does he go upstairs and sit down with mom at dinner and go, give me a biscuit, you know, like order it. And like, what is, I just like the mentality, the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, he walks outside of his mom's basement, picks up his rusty board, his rusty long ass bolt hanging over the trucks. You know what I mean? Spins the wheel one time, that shit squeaks. He's like, I got him. Like, you fucking loser. I do like most of them dudes do not matter in skate. I swear to you, they do not matter in skate. The internet is giving like the worst dudes the voice. Most of the time you got to realize it's like most of the kids like 12, 13-year-olds. You know what I mean? You're like always forget that kids can spell and shit. You know what I mean? So fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking some 35-year-old man. It's probably some like 12-year-old kids in the 7th grade. Like, fucker. The real skater is not there to fucking heckle and you know talk shit down on guys like yourself and dudes that are doing cool shit. They're too busy skating and fucking looking at cool skate shit and liking things that they like instead of finding things they don't like.
That's true. Switching gears a little, I want to get back to the video. Like we were probably like right about 101 days, but you had a part in the Acme video, right?
Yes.
That was EMB stuff. Then,
yes.
Then you had was it a montage kind of part for 101 or did you have your own?
No, I had my own part. That was actually, I had the last part in the video.
That was the ending part you had. And okay.
I had the last part, and I also had the very last trick in the video. Yeah.
How does that feel?
I've had that luck. Like
I mean, was that like from the get go? Like Natas is second to Gons if he's second. So like, wow, like I'm with this dude. Like, what was it like that?
I mean, with that happened, that was, it wasn't weird. It just didn't happen how people thought it did, because there was a gap between Acme and 101 to where I wasn't riding for anyone. Like, I was like, I guess I was pro. Like, I wasn't riding for no one. You know what I'm saying?
So it wasn't just transfer.
I was in Cali. I came to stay with Kareem, and Rodney Mullen called me in Florida. It was like, hey, do you want to ride? It's like, Kareem told me to call you. You want to come out here? Was, yeah, sure. I was riding for Acme at the time. I met Kareem in Munster '93, and they called me a couple months after Munster, flew me out, and first I went down to Orange County, and I was staying with the TSA guys. They were all my boys, and then Rodney, I think Rodney called me up and was like, yeah, meet Kareem at the extra large store or something like, and I was like, what the fuck? So the guys from TSA took all my bags, went up to LA, and they dropped me off on some bus bench next to extra large, and fucking Kareem pulled up, and I stayed with Kareem for like a couple months, and it was awesome, dude. Like he would go out, like I didn't have money or nothing. I didn't have much, and dude, his fucking like, he took me in as like a family member, dude. Like he bought me clothes. He'd go out and buy like all this fresh Adidas gear, all this shit. Like everything he bought, he'd buy me something. Like he literally bought me the exact same thing. So like, it was like, it's crazy to think about, man. Like he really looked after me like nobody else. Like he believed in me, like 100%, man. And like, just thinking back on it now, I didn't take it for granted, but it didn't register to me how much that meant to me, and how much, and coming from someone like him too, like he didn't have to do any of that. I mean, he was fucking Kareem Campbell. Like he was on top of, and like, and a lot of the guys, a lot of those guys, like they were just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it took me a while to like get along with a lot of those guys, a lot of the menace guys and shit, because I wasn't one of them dudes, and I am some loud Southern country dude, and they were just like, the fuck is this dude, And so I stayed with Kareem for a while, and then he was good friends with Dyrdek, and so somehow I would stay between Dyrdek and Kareem's house. That was a thing. Like
okay.
Kareem's like filming with sock or whatever, I'd go to Dyrdek's and stay with Dyrdek's for a while, and then Dyrdek'd be like, all right, dude, gotta come get him. Then I'd go back to Kareem's for a bit. So I was in, for about a year and a half, and then one day sitting at Dyrdek's, and I remember it like it was yesterday, dude. We were playing Sega Hockey Genesis, and super late at night, dude. It's me, Bo Turner, Scott Conklin, Dwayne, Dyrdek, and John Drake. And I want to say Jamie Thomas might have been there, because Jamie lived like 2 houses down. But he used to come over because Bo Turner used to terrorize him. But like Dyrdek comes in the room, and like he's talking to somebody on the phone. He's like, hey man, Natas is on the phone. And I was playing, mind you, this is when Sega Genesis was huge. And I thought he was just trying to get me off the game and take my spot, because you can take people's spots. And I was just like, whatever, dude. He's like, no, dude, seriously, Natas is on the phone. And I'm like, all right, dude. So I fucking put my controller, and I was pissed as fuck. Somebody's gonna grab a controller. And Natas was on the phone. And I was like, I was kind of drunk too. And I was like, he's like, hey man, I saw your footage, and I just want to see what you think of Rival 101. And I looked at Dyrdek, because I think he said something to Dyrdek, and I was like, I literally said this to Natas. I'm like, yo, if this is fucking Natas, meet me tomorrow at fucking Pacific Drive. 10. He's like, all right, man. Like, he just Natas, all right, man. And I'm like, okay, dude. Next morning at 9:30, Dyrdek wakes me up like, hey, dude, got to meet these guys down there. And I'm like, that was really him? He's like, yeah, dude. So I go to Pacific Beach, go to the Pacific Drive skate shop, and like there's a McDonald's, or used to be one right around the corner. And there's that wall across the street from Pacific Drive. And I literally came around the corner and was like, pushed around the corner, was like, holy shit. And it was fucking Natas, Dill, and Gino. And I was like, fuck. Like, yo. Like, I didn't even know what to think, man. I was like, wow, it's really happening. We went out and skated, and we went to that school, Terra Cedar, whatever, that school with all the ledges under the roof, under the thing. I had the chain over the fence too.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the name. It's some with a T. And we went there, and I fakey hard flip the bench. I think I never fakey hard flip the bench until that day. And I was just like, fucking Natas here, dog. I'm getting down right now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, fakey heel flip the chain. Now, fakey kick flip the chain. And then he was like, they were like, yo, what the fuck? And like, I didn't even never skate the chain before. I was just like, Natas here. And Dave Swift was there as well. And so it was Natas, Dave Swift, and all these guys. And fakey flip the chain, like almost right when we got there. And I was like, shit, that worked out. Like, so, then I was like, then they pulled a bench out, and Gino was like doing a line. And I was like, and I was doing a line with the fakey hard flip. I think I did like a front blunt or something. I didn't like the second trick. I fakey hard flip the thing, and then he's like, all right, man, well, I have a check for you tomorrow. And I was like, word? Dude,
wow.
That shit changed my life, dude. Like, I went from being pro to not having a sponsor to, getting hooked up with Rodney and Kareem and all of them, and then just going through this like year and a half, man. It was just like, I never gave up though. I didn't know I was going. I just never I knew I didn't want to go home. I knew I didn't want to go back to Florida. I was just like, fuck, dude. But I didn't know who I was going to ride for. I had no idea. And then like literally that fakey heart flip put me on like that, put me on. And
damn.
Next day, so like he sent a check down. I got a couple of days, and like I wasn't making much money on one-on-one whatsoever, which is neither here nor there now. But I don't know what people thought we were making a bunch of money then. But
yeah,
even the whole time I was on there, I don't think I made $1,000. Like
oh wow.
But like looking back, it was like I probably stole like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of product a month out of the warehouse. Probably spent it all on weed and shoes and shit, which is neither here nor there. And it was just little things, man. I was just grateful to like be able to go eat when I wanted to, because I refused to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like you're young, I ain't get a fucking job. Like now I tell young people like, Tyler, go get a job.
Yeah.
You can skate when you're off work. Like they don't pay you enough to be out here hurting yourself. Barely, you can go get a job for 1 week and make that money that you're probably gonna make in a month over there. So just go ahead and get you a little job and set yourself up for the future. But I didn't have nothing, man. And I was sitting on couches and shit, and I didn't have nothing. So to me, that was beginning of everything. I was grateful, dude. Like I could go get shit when I wanted to. Like I didn't even have a bank account until then. And I was all of 19, 20. Like I said, I wasn't getting money on one-on-one. I'm not one-on-one. I wasn't getting money on Acme at all, dude. Like, at all. As a matter of fact, that motherfucker made me pay for some pants one time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was grateful to get that, man, and just to be down with them. And
right.
Up and met Gino and those guys. We did the ad where I was dropping the bomb off the roof, and then we went straight into shooting a bunch of ads and shit, and I'm staying in Natas' house. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Like everything changed just like you never, and I don't know, man. I'm just really grateful for that, dude. That was I can't explain that time other than, it's hard to explain how emotional you are when something like that happens, because
sure.
It changed my life. It completely changed my life, 100%. And like I said, it wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough to change my life at the time. And I was able to go in and get boards when I wanted to. I rode for fucking 101, dude. Like, I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be riding for 101 ever. Like 101 out of all of them companies, I thought was like, I'm just like, dog, this is like all them other places, the fucking local court. That's a fucking Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Like, there's no diss to all of them, but I was just like, 101 always had the heaviest team. It's like out of all of them, and like they didn't really have AMs. And I just liked the way it was always set up. I think Lee Peterson maybe was AM for him for a very short amount of time. They never had amateurs, and they always had like the pros were like nothing. They were never the same. I just always liked 101. So, and then having Natas you and I always with him. Like, this is fucking Natas, baby.
Did you have a part in the music for your part?
The first one, no. I want to say Gino and those guys already had most of that like going.
Okay.
A lot of that footage too at the time I had used for my 4-1. Like both of those parts were split up, Trilogy and 20 Shot. Like I had a ton more footage for both of them. A lot of the footage went to 411. I think it's my rookie profile. And then when my profile came out, I was on 101 at the time. So I had a ton of footage that just didn't come out. And I don't know why, man. Looking back at it, it was like a lot of stuff I was very happy with, but I think I was kind of, considering the people I was around and shit, I just gave myself the wrong impression that, people wouldn't like seeing that type of skating. And then I see like Sam Devlin's part and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted to put some transition shit in. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know people were going to be that responsive and cool to it, because I think a lot of people thought that I was a street skater, and I grew up in an era where I was just a skateboarder. You know what I mean? Like I just happened to excel a little bit faster and more street, but I don't, like, as I said, when we were kids, there was no such thing as a street skater. You were considered a freestyler.
Yeah.
If you street skated,
or
like
a G-turner.
No one ever said Mark Gonzalez is a street skater. No one ever said Mike Vallely is a street skater. It's like,
right.
And if you think about it, Ron Allen was legitimately the first street pro. Like he wasn't skating transitions and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like guys and all those guys had that shit in their arsenal. Like you knew Ron strictly from skating street. Strictly. There was no you know what I mean? Like he wasn't like an ambiguous guy, like a Johnny Cop, where you're like, I don't know who that dude is or what he skates. You know what I mean? Like you knew he skated street. So I think that's when all that came around is, late 80s. But I never considered myself a street skater until like, I guess around when I went to Cali probably and started skating with a lot of those guys. I just mainly would skate street. But when we went on tour, like people would be like first thing I would do is jump on the vert ramp, like, let's get my legs warm, do a tail slide of the vert ramp, do a lip slide. And like, I remember Joey Serial was like, what the, like they were looking at me like, what the, and I was tripping on them. I'm like, damn, y'all don't skate vert? You know what I mean? Like you guys don't skate vert? You guys don't skate pool? And I'm like, that's when I really realized, like Florida was a little different. We all grew up a little different. And, that was, 101 thing went down. It was awesome, man. It was a great time staying with Natas, and Gino was there. We're filming for the videos. And, I'd go out front and do the little ollie tail thing that Natas would do. Like I remember calling my I was like, dude, I'm fucking Natas' house right now. Like I'd be walking around.
Was it the same house that he had the tail slide in this video, like off the porch?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you're just like,
yeah. I swear I was like Natas. You couldn't tell me nothing. Y'all in Natas' crib. I used to call my ex-girlfriend there like, yo, I'm just chilling at Natas Kaupas' house. She didn't know who he was. I was just talking shy. I'm talking cash shit. Like, that's right. You know where I'm at.
That rules.
Yeah, man. I would also stay with I want to give Socrates a huge shout out too, man, because I would stay with Socrates a lot, because after a while, there was, everyone had lives. Kareem had kids, and, I couldn't always stay there. Didic's always gone. And so I didn't know a lot of people. So I would just stay with Sock. And So I could look crash out on this floor, and we just go film and find people and stuff. So he was very, very helpful with the, you know, he was, I wouldn't be half the things without that guy. You know, he was there, he was filming. He's a very, very important part to a lot of people's skateboard career. And I would hands down say he was a very vital part to my skateboard career.
He's put in the hours for sure.
He's such a humble guy too, man.
Yeah, good dude. I know. The first time I ever interacted with him, I had called him. I needed something for Thrasher, and I was like, this is kind of crazy asking Socrates for like some day one clip or something. I'm just like, this is not gonna go good. Like, but I gotta try. And he was just like the coolest dude. Like, yeah, man, when do you need it by? Can I get to you tomorrow? And I was like, what? Yeah, fuck. I was like, this. So we've always had a good like connection like that. It's just like like you said, humble for sure.
Yeah, man. He's like, you know, he's always been that guy. I respect guys, you know, like even like yourself, man. I respect the guys that play the role that they came in to play. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a videographer, be that. You know, you're a filmer, be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't be the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can't be the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody a fucking famous like everyone can't have a shoe with their name. Like, everyone can't. And like, I respect the guys that are humble and like they let the skaters do the talking. They let their work do the talking. You know what I mean? Like they weren't like, oh, cool. Now it's my turn to be it. You know, now it's my turn to be that guy. And it's you see a lot of that now. You know, I think that's and not to turn back around, but I think that's probably the big thing with skating is like a lot of the team managers are, you know, like they're taking this time to fill that void of when they weren't that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you see that a lot, right? Like, and I'm just like, dog, really? And like, you know, come on, man. Like,
my favorite is once the dudes are dead, how many friends come out of the woodwork of the dude that's dead? Like, oh, that was my homie, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay.
Just know this. There's people right now that's holding on to a photo of you, waiting for you to die.
Yeah.
So they can, you know what I'm saying?
I did that, man. I sent out a photo to a bunch of people. I was like, hey, hold on to this. It's like me and you probably gonna die in a few years. Go viral with it.
Yeah. Something like, but there's some people who ain't even really got nothing to say about you right now. But they ain't gonna be like, yo, go check out Talkin Schmit. But let Talkin Schmit fucking choke on a cornflake. They're gonna be like, yo, man, my dog, right here, my man. It's like, dude.
We put in miles, dog. Yeah. We put in miles. Hey, my number one dream is to have a funeral without dying. I always say it. Like, I just want to see what everyone says about me while I'm still here.
Yeah. Love that guy like a brother. I'd give him a kidney if needed it.
From NorCal legend.
Take everybody's girlfriend.
He was one of those ones.
My biggest dream is I want to die like fucking, what's the guy? I want to die like Benny Hill. You know how Benny Hill died sitting on a couch in his underwear with a bunch of unopened checks around him worth millions of dollars. I was like, that dude did it right. Yeah. That is great. That dude probably used some fucking Captain Crunch in his fucking dirty ass underwear with a bunch of unopened checks and just like, fuck all you guys. I don't even care. He didn't even care. He's a huge star. And he's just like, the dude dies in some crusty ass underwear with a bunch of checks around him. That is great.
Watch this segue. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Speaking of a huge star, he's going to hate me for this, but I got to hear your first impression of the one and only Rob Welsh.
Oh, mama.
How did I meet Rob? Well, obviously I met him with Sal. It's so funny. So, and Sal's putting together aesthetics, right? Sal has this like idea of like, you know what I mean? And then like, so because we went through this on 23. Sal's like, all right, man, we're doing this, da-da-da. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this Hot Wheels shit? You know what I mean? But he's cool. You know, we decided to make both work. And then so we did aesthetics. And he's like, all right, man. He's like, you think anybody want on the team? I was like, dude, I got this guy, Kevin Taylor, man. He's fucking gonna be the next great guy. Da-da-da. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, I got this guy, Rob Welsh. Da-da-da. And I was just like, who? Like, I I didn't know who he was. And so I meet him, and I swear, I think, what did I say to Sal? I said he looked like Gary Oldman in True Romance. You know the dude with the gold teeth in True Romance?
Yeah.
I was just, because he had a gold tooth or something at the time, and I just remember being like, yo, what's up with your man from True Romance? But he was cool. It's so funny because he was very quiet and reserved. And then, like, once me and him got to know each other, it was just like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Like he just, it was like we were always friends. You know what I mean? I think that what was awesome about aesthetics. It wasn't like, we didn't really, the team put us together. We all knew each other. We all kind of met each, but once it worked perfectly. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we were all stuffed in some house together and they're like, all right, dude, here you guys go, make the next video. It was like, you know, it was just like, it literally worked. And I think it all worked, number one, out of the huge amount of respect we have for Sal. You know, I think that goes a long ways. And, you know, you can see that kind of shit in different companies. You know, you see it in Baker, for instance. You know what I mean? That's what makes Baker legitimate. Yeah. And how, you know, they have an honest respect for Andrew. You know, like literally, he's out there skating with him. He's cool with all the guys. I'm sure none of those guys argued about their checks or anything. They're like, you know, he's like fairly, you know, he's a good boss, a good guy. You know, he's a good leader. Right. And we always saw that with Sal. You know, so it was easy for us to not go in any other direction. You know, and I think Sal he had an idea of, you know, I don't think Rob Welsh would have worked on like anything else at the time. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine him on like anything. You know, it's like he just, because he's his own thing, man. You know, like he could be just himself on aesthetics. He wasn't trying to fit in with us, or he just kind of did his own thing. And I think we all respected that out of him always. And he's obviously one of a fucking great skateboarder. Yeah. You know, one of the few tall dudes that looks good on a skateboard. Yeah, absolutely. It's very hard to do, as we all know that.
Well, I cannot fucking imagine the tours. Like the three of you talking shit must have been just hilarity, like for 24/7. Like
it was fucking Def Comedy Jam, dude. It was fun, man. It was always something, dude. Once we were in Germany. And I think it was Rob's birthday. It was Rob's birthday. And Rob, for some reason, decided to go watch soccer in Germany with drunk American white Rob. And Rob, I think we might have beat Germany that night or something. Not we, I don't even watch soccer. So something happened with Germany, right? And Rob at this time was shit-faced, screaming at these dudes. And we're like, yo, we got to go. And mind you, it's me and Kevin Taylor and Rob. So I'm like, first off, two black dudes and an American in Germany. We were going to fucking die. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude, there's nothing we could have did to save you. I'm like, they already hate Americans and they double hate black people. So this is just not a good look for us. And Rob's just screaming at these guys. And so we finally get Rob back to the hotel. And I guess the guys either follow us back or I'm not sure, but we were up in the room. And at this time, another bad idea. Kevin Taylor and I thought it'd be a good idea to start beating Rob up for his birthday. You know, yeah. And I guess we left the door kind of cracked. And we were making a bunch of noise from the bar to there. And then we make a bunch of noise. And someone kicks the door open and it's a bunch of fucking cops with fucking, look like Uzis. I think they're Uzis. I'm not, everyone get on the fucking ground. And Rob is screaming. he's screaming the lyrics to "Living in America," and he's telling the cops like, "We fucking won the war," and these dudes have a fucking rifle in his fucking face, and we're like, "Yo, Rob, we're gonna." I thought Kevin was gonna cry, dude. I swear to God, it was the greatest night of my life. I thought God, he's like, "Man, Rob, shut up." And I was so drunk, I didn't know what was going on. Rob was just screaming. And I was like, from that night, I was like, I like Rob. He's a real one. You know what I mean? Rob was down for the cause. He is Captain America like a motherfucker, but a little part of Rob wishes he was black, and I love it. But if Rob had one black leg, he would be the happiest one partial black leg man in the entire fucking world. Like,
I could hear him right now. Why'd you guys talk about me? It's about Clyde. It doesn't have to be about me.
did you try to get him on the show too? He's like,
yeah, here's what happened. It was episode like 7, right? And Rob's a good friend of mine. I was like, Rob, you down? He's like, nah, I don't know. He's like, how about this? If you get to episode 69, I'll do episode 69. All right. Like a year and a half later, whatever. Hey, Rob, I'm at 60. You still down for 69? He's like, yeah. Hey, Rob, I'm at 68. You're up. Oh, yeah, I don't know. He just told me he likes life better when people don't know about him.
Yeah,
I can respect that.
Too. Like, he didn't say that you asked him. He was like, yeah, he's like a couple other podcasts been asking me to come on. He's like, I don't want to do yours first. And I was like, well, do whatever you want to do, man. I was like, it's no pressure, whatever. If you want to come on, like, show's gonna go on without you. It's funny, man. You know, Rob. It's kind of hard to get Rob in that talking mode. You know, like I feel like he might clam up, but that's why I like personally doing phone interviews. This is like the first one. This is the first podcast I've ever done. Like, yeah, I'm not even joking.
Mind blown.
I just took my first FaceTime call like 2 weeks ago. I like doing mine on the phone.
Appreciate that.
I feel like, you know what I mean? Like a guy like Rob would be like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. You know what I'm saying?
It's scarier. Yeah, for sure. The only reason I do it like this or start doing it was because of the pandemic. Like I used to do them only in person.
Oh, wow.
And then when the pandemic hit, it was like, oh, do I stop doing them? I didn't even know what Zoom was. I knew FaceTime, but I didn't know what Zoom was. And I did 1 or 2 with Zoom, and I was like, you mean I could do Dustin Dolan in Australia? Like, oh shit, it just opened up like, dude, I could do like anybody now. Like, I don't have to be in the same room. Like, you know,
man, that's why I've been very thankful. Like I did the Mark Oblo episode I did in the parking lot of a rehab center. Actually, no, I believe my ex-girlfriend at the time was my ex-girlfriend now. At the time, she was getting shoulder surgery. She was getting like something replaced in her up here.
Right.
And so I sat in the parking lot for like a couple hours and just interview, like, as you know too, it's like if you can get the time with people, it's like, dude, jump on it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, because it's kind of rare. And then also it's like, I feel like if people want to do it at that time, that's when they want to talk. It's a lot more organic like that. You know, like even with you, like thank you for giving me the time too, because there's a bunch of I had like my crowns were all fucked up for a while, and I was like, I'm not about to be on fucking down that shit, looking like Captain Crunch in the mouth. Like, this has been this has been a great day. You know what I mean? I got up at 4:30, did a little stretching, then I started putting together the promo for John Reeves, and you know, I've figured out how to mentally set myself up for these things instead of like trying to go through the process, you know what I mean? Trying to go through the motions, knowing that like, instead of just being honest and being like, you know what, I don't really feel like doing it right now. It's like, you know what, just prepare yourself correctly. You know what I mean? Like, and this is an opportunity. I think it's a good opportunity, you know, like I've never done one of these. So this is cool to me. It's like, it's cool to be on the other side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
But
cool.
I mean, you've done interviews before and stuff like for magazines and whatnot, so it's kind of similar. It's just a little more invasive and a little more lengthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of mine are like a couple hours, you know, like except Ron's was like 3 hours, you know, but I always chop them up. But
dude, I did Ron for 3 hours and I wanted 3 more weeks.
I mean, no, for the most part too, like it's not, I mean, I don't really think it takes that. Most of the time, like if I went in with preconceived questions, you know, like a lot of times at Big Brother, they would give me questions, and to be honest, I would fucking throw them away, you know, because it's, or I'd be like, why don't you do the interview? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
there are questions, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's how I've always thought about that kind of shit. But you know, with doing, I don't know, man. I just kind of go in, like I know a couple of things. I have a good memory, you know. So most people I end up talking to, I just, you know, I kind of just let them take, you know, like this, like, you know, you just like let me just take over and talk about whatever. And I feel like that's a lot easier to do. How do you feel about that? You know, do you go in with questions per se, or?
I usually, since we've been doing it this way, before, I don't think I did, but now that there's a computer right here, what I do is sometimes I'll have a couple bullet points, because we'll start talking and my brain will completely forget about like something, because I'll get so wrapped up, and I don't want to beat a dead horse and just be like, and I got another story about that same story about that same story. And you're just like, no, time out, get out of here, move on to the next thing. So I do, like, sometimes I'll usually put like, I'll be like, you know, okay, talk to him a little bit about 101, talk to him about aesthetics, who somebody had a relationship with you're interested, like, oh, Rob's a great friend, he's never gonna come on, have him say something about Rob, you know, stuff like that. So just like a couple bullet points, but I don't like type out questions and then be like, any Johnny could just come in and read what I wrote and be like, hey, so what about, I gotta take a break and my wife's gonna come and finish this interview for me. You know, no, I'm kidding. Like, you got the questions, you got the questions all written out.
Oh yeah. I was like, damn, for real?
Damn.
I try to go in like, you know, just, you know, a lot of them, you know, it eases up like this too. You know, it turns into a conversation where it's a couple hours. It usually does. You know, it's like, I think that's just cool, man. You have a common respect for your peers, and you can, you know, you feel comfortable talking to them. I feel more comfortable doing this. You know, you're closer to my generation of skaters, you know, like as I grew up with, they were all older, you know, so like stuff, and like you got tons of skate knowledge, you know what I mean? So I'd have more, I find it more interesting to tell you my story and hear stories that you have with other people than people that are my age or younger, you know, because let's be serious, most people don't care to know shit, you know what I mean? So it's hard to talk to people about skateboarding and life, and you know, like most people live inside of this fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the me world, right? It's so self-centric. Like, it's like, it's a quick ADD mentality, and if there's not a little smidgen of me, I don't care. Like, it's like, man, it's kind of crazy. It's sad. It's like, dude, a lot of dudes paved a lot of way for what you're doing right now, and nobody's asking you to like buy them anything, but like just give them a little respect, you know?
Exactly, man. You know, and you know, I think it's been a great thing to work with dudes. Like, honestly, like Bill Danforth is one of my favorite dudes, man.
He's rad.
It was, man, he is like, he was like everything I thought a pro was cool. You know what I mean? He was cool. He was like, he wasn't trying to be someone he's not. He wasn't bitter. Like, I was like, man, this dude is literally like, he was cool, you know. And the thing, like the stigma he had back in the day of like, you know, oh, push his fucking
Mongo.
Like, it's like, even people back there, like, it's weird to be a kid and think back as a kid and be like, someone would almost kind of laugh at him for pushing with the wrong foot, but like, we were the ones that were stupid because we didn't know. Like, that was like a pro's pro. People liked him, and like, you know, he was liked all around. You know what I mean? Like the Hesh dudes liked him, the newer street dudes liked him and respected him, the vert guys liked him, you know, like they respected him. You know what I mean? Because he went out there, he put in that work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Jumped off the fucking porch and put in that work, and nobody can take that from him. Like, what are you? Oh, you pushed with the wrong foot, bitch. He made it a fucking finals of Ohio State out. You know what I mean? Like, what's funny about that? You know what I mean? Like, that dude pushing with the wrong foot was fucking eating up contests in the late '80s and mid '80s. Like, there ain't nothing funny about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember a lot of y'all's favorite skaters like up in the top 10 with them dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, them dudes probably too busy out there drinking, trying to get bitches, and he didn't care. He was out there skating, doing his thing, had a mean front rock. And so just to talk to that dude was like, it was cool, man. He was genuinely like, it made me have a different outlook on skating, you know, being older and shit. And like, just like, man, you know what? That dude's cool. He's just chilling down in Florida, making fucking hot dogs and tacos and drinking Busch. And he ain't worried about none of this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? He ain't worried about none of that shit. None of you weird old dudes is worried about, you know what I mean? All them old dudes, like, still trying to, like, man, you see them dudes, like, 58 years old, like, trying to be on Instagram and shit. You're like, dog, You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and make you a little hot dog and a bush beer like Bill Danforth. You know? Like, yo, that dude's got it down. He knows. Yeah, I'm like, that's how I want to be, you know. And I think it's great to see guys like that. You know, like talked to Charlie Thomas today, talked to John Reeves the other day, and
Rad.
A Barbie coming on, Stedham, bunch of guys, you know, and a bunch of guys I talked to. Grant Britton was super fucking cool, you know. And
so what's your strategy? Do you put them out when you can, or do you try to put them out like the same amount? Are you doing like one a month? Are you trying to do like every third Friday? Like, are you doing anything, or is it just, I got this, I'm putting it up?
I mean, lately I've kind of, you know, I put it off. I held it off for a bit because I was working a lot over the spring and the summer. I moved to Virginia, and like, I wasn't very comfortable where I was at. So I couldn't get into that. You know, I couldn't get into it. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to put myself out or put nothing else out that I didn't generally, it wasn't genuine to me. This is my thing, man. Instead of doing it, I wanted to do it right instead of doing it right now. That was very important. You know, it's very, very important to me because at one point I just felt like I just kept putting stuff out. Even though looking back on it, it's like, oh, it was good. But it was like, there are some things that it was a learning lesson for me to, number one, take a break. And like, I don't need to keep putting stuff out. And it's not going to change the future anymore. The only thing that's going to change the future anymore is how I put it out. You know what I mean? Like I had the formula, I had the demographic, I had everything. I just need to figure out the things that I'm happy with. And I was like, I'm not happy with the sound. You know, and to a lot of people it didn't really matter. But to me, I was just like, you know how you are, dude. Like once you start doing this shit, it gets very dangerous. You know what I mean? You start looking at shit that like, and one thing I quit looking at numbers. I quit looking at all that shit because it'll freak you out. You know what I mean? You become obsessed with it. You're like, you start looking at your Tuesday numbers. You're like, well, shit, man, I need to get up Friday. And you're like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
My strategy was to just, you know, like to do it. Instead of doing it right now is to do it right. And like, so I took a step back.
Okay.
You know, people that like, you know, it's like, I don't want to be rushing things. I don't feel like I need to like, I don't get paid by Instagram. I'm like, I don't need to always have an Instagram post. You know what I mean? Like it all started clicking, making sense. And that's when I believe to myself, it started getting a little better. You know, I put out the Fred Reeves one, which I was actually the Marty Grimes one. I was super fucking stoked on. I was like, shit. I was like, that's when I was like, you know what? They all got to be this good. That's a precedent. You know what I mean? That's how I want the next ones to look. I want to roll everyone out and like, not just like, hey man, da 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 da. It's like, I just really kind of figured out a way, and that was my formula to move forward, was to do it to where I'm happy with it. Not like the dude on Instagram who's not even buying my fucking shirts is like, you know, hey man, you know, like you should do this guy. And it's like, no, I should do what makes me happy. You know, and it's not, there's still tons of people I want to do. But with that comes time and patience and things like that, you know, and then if you take the time, you have the patience, and you do it right instead of putting someone out right now, it's like, I would rather wait a month to put another episode out and put out a Ray Barbie episode. You can do the interview and be happy, but then you start editing, you're just like, fuck, you know, you know what I mean? You know exactly what I mean, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I think like it's the curse again, but like, I always think like, man, if I had an intern that could just edit it for me and give me a rough, but then I'm going to be yelling at some dude that did it not the way I saw it. And then that's not fair. Honestly, that's why I started skateboarding and working, you know, in skateboarding, because it was my passion. And that's where some say you can get taken advantage of or whatever. But like, yeah, you'll work for free because fuck yeah, you're in the car with Natas and he's taking you to some spot that's legendary and you're meeting Mark Gonzalez and this is everything you dreamed of. And so, yeah, I want to be there. Like, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing. Like, I want to hear these stories. I want to talk to you. The pandemic helped a lot with really making me want to talk to people and be like, dude, I feel isolated. How are you doing? Hey, I just want to tell you, I got love for you, man, because I know I need to hear it. Like, and just sharing that love and stuff, because it was a tough time. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. Still don't really know, but like, it's getting better, I think. But like, I just like think that the pandemic, what came good out of it, not much, but I think podcasting was a big thing. We had a lot of free time to listen to stuff, and we were dying to talk to somebody. So
I mean, shit, I put myself in business during the pandemic, man. That's right when I quit drinking a week before everything shut down. So yeah, straight up, just quit, just cold turkey. Went to one AA meeting, looked around, was like, "You motherfuckers are weird and ugly," and walked out. I'm not even lying, yo. I was like, yo, I can't. I was like, dude, there was some dude in there got a big ass, like, yeah, fucking like Captain Crunch or some shit on his nose. I was just like, dude, you know what? Like, it made me realize, number one, I was like, I'm grateful because it could have been that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been. And luckily, I never had no DUIs, never went to jail, nothing like that. So I went to Tampa and passed out under the bowl. Everyone was taking pictures of me and shit. And I was like, that's it. I was like, that's it, dude. And so I came back to Winston, quit drinking, and then I wasn't getting no unemployment money. So I had my last 50-something bucks. I had quit drinking. I had like nothing going for me. Like, not like that, but like I literally had like, I was asked out, so the internet kept me talking to people and kept me sane, just like you're saying, podcast. And literally like what actually kept me sane too is there was a beer place called Hoots in Winston-Salem. And my buddy was a manager there, and they could stay open like a restaurant. There was some weird thing in the legislature. They could stay open. So I started selling to-go food there. And that put me in business to like start, you know what I mean? And like that kept me sane, man, because it kept me talking to people. I could talk to the customers. And then when I came home, I started doing Ali Lama shirts, and I started talking to people online. And I will agree with you, man. That's one great thing that came out of the pandemic is for some people, but on the flip side of that, a lot of people came out of the pandemic and were talking to people like they were still on Facebook. And like, you're like, yo, dude, like, you know how to slap the shit out of you in real time? Like, people were literally talking to people like they were in the fucking comment section. You're like, damn, dog. Like,
you got a little too much confidence, bro. Is outside of skateboarding, is there any podcasts that you listen to?
Absolutely. Bill Burr and Mike Tyson.
I like the Monday morning podcast on Thursday. Bill Burr is so good.
I like Bill Burr's thing because he's just himself. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he can get on there and carry that conversation by himself. Like,
it's gnarly. I've tried to do that before, and it is not easy.
Dude, thank you. Thank you for saying that. People are like, man, do an episode. I'm like, first off, dude, I lived in the woods in Virginia, and I know what it's like to talk to yourself, and that shit is not cool.
Yeah, like it used to be called crazy when you talk to yourself. Now people are walking down, you're like, you can't tell if they're crazy or they're on the phone.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that thing on Vice where like the dude gets out of jail from like 30, 40 years, and like he's like, man, I got off and I see all these people talking on earpieces. He's like, I thought everyone was the FBI.
Yeah. We should touch base on this thing you've been doing with Noracco too.
Okay.
Because I actually got the sweatshirt on from the Oakland day where we gave out like I came out and videoed it, and it was like given to the community, all the kids that came out, dudes that didn't know how to skate, getting all the gear and stuff. And I just think it's awesome, man. Like all that's the kind of stuff that I want to be a part of anytime I can.
I mean, honestly, man, I got kind of hooked up with those guys doing that. That was sorry, man. He's taking on your shot today.
We're going third charge and then we're out.
Yeah, my shit. Anyway, I got a raggedy ass headphone, but I like working with dude. Honestly, it's just a genuine thing. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of different guys, and everyone's happy, and it's cool, man, because it's like you're able to be there and connect with people on that level with something you love. The thought of putting that together is absolutely awesome. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Because we didn't have nothing like that growing up. You know what I mean? We could go to the boys, girls. We get like cold ass free lunches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. Give us nothing as kids. So the fact of just. I never got a brand new complete and a pair of shoes ever. Like, my mom worked at fucking Popeyes. I never got that shit. So a bunch of dudes showing up and giving us like, I mean, the skate shops back in the day were dope. Yeah, I appreciate all. You know, what I mean, we'd be stoked we got a sticker back in the day. You know, like a sticker was like, you can tell me shit if I got a free sticker from a skate shop. I was pro. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I got like 5 stickers. I'm pro as shit now. You know, so being able to give these kids stuff, it's I don't know, man. It's to me, it's cool. It's rewarding. It's something I love to do, man. It's like teaching people how to cook. The fact that we were able to give them a skateboard and hopefully they continue on with it. You know, it's like hopefully they meet some other kids and maybe they can slowly start skating those 6 or 7 miles a day to the skate park. Kids don't do that no more. A kid to get a skateboard and just skate in his cuddle sack. And it's like, no wonder you quit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't even leave your front yard. 1 out of them 5 or 6 kids, if they keep skating, our job's done. You know, and that's not some fucking sales pitch. I say that with the kitchen, you know, with cooking. It's like, dude, if 1 of 5 of these idiots can cook by the time I get out of here, my job's done. We came here to do a job, and it's not like we're missionaries. You know what I mean? We're dropping off Bibles and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, check it out before we go. I got something I want to ask you too.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It was like I think it was this is funny. I always find someone to make fun of Jamie Thomas. And this is hilarious. Jamie probably hates me. I don't know why. Because I always make fun of him, which is fine. He's like, what's he gonna quit sending me boxes? He never sent me a box. I don't care. He's gonna use my footage again in some weird video. I don't care. So oh my God. So Jamie Thomas and those guys went to like somewhere in Mexico. I can't remember where it was. They like went on some trip to Mexico, and it was like him and like a bunch of other like color redacted dudes. He's like it's a van white dudes. So like, okay. they all get in the van and go to Mexico. This is a fucking great story, right? And so on the way down there, I see this post, and it's like, man, you guys got any good spots or anything? And I'm like, what the fuck kind of Christmas Columbus shit is this? Like, how you gonna ask them, man? Like, dog, you didn't even pull up with no goods, no nothing. Like, who does that? Like, I was like, this is how America was founded right here. Some motherfuckers put up like, oh man, you guys got some good fruit shit. Sweet. You gotta show us where that's at real quick.
Oh man.
You think they're gonna sponsor any of them kids and shit from Mexico? I even think the company that came back had a Mexican name. Wasn't it like Oaxaca or something? He's had some like company that has like a weird Mexican name. He does something with them now. I can't remember, but I was like, that was some smooth shit. That was some Columbus ass shit, dude.
You got a lot of history with Jamie. San Francisco till now.
I've known Jamie for a long time. I know Jamie since Illegal. What was it?
Did you know when he was in Alabama, or he's from Alabama, right?
Yeah, I remember Jamie from when he used to. I think I don't know why I had a dispute with someone about this, but it was either he got naked, but he used to do like a naked Benihana after every contest. Yeah, dude, and he had
there's your intro to your.
That wasn't the thing, you know. It was like skateboarding had some weird homo tendencies back then. It's like you know what I mean? It had some weird like some shit. You like, yo, there's like a bunch of naked dudes skating. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit was like, as a matter of fact, I skated naked in the video. Yeah, I did too. So weird shit back then. But that dude would skate to every NSA contest, right? And like he would like naked. That wasn't the thing. He had all these like these weird leprosy scabs on the back of his like the shit looked like old pussy cornflakes and shit. It was like all on the like yeah. Yo, so that was the thing. He looked like, first off, he was bald headed. He looked like a dude from fucking Powder. And then he's like, hey, I love Jamie Thomas, so dog. Send me a box.
Yeah.
Let me get my footage back from '93, big dog.
What was the video you skated naked in? Whiskey?
No, that was the one where I hit my face on the fence.
Oh, okay, yeah. My face.
I go, oh, my face.
Yeah.
People thought that shit was funny. I got fucked up. I had. I got fucked up, dude.
Which one? Not because I'm wanting to run out and watch it, but which one were you?
Dude, I want to find the video because I boardside some really long rail, and I'm like, if you guys can forget about me doing a fucking late shove it naked over a bench. Actually, and it happened because my dumb ass, like, I bet someone, I was like, dude, if I don't make it this time, I'm taking off I kept taking off articles of clothing, and I ended up naked doing the trick. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh, like, if I don't make it, I'll take a piece of clothing off.
It's called Blind Stupid Fury. Like, I was freaking out. I was trying to film some tricks for the. I don't even know what I was trying some shit and like, what the was I trying? It was like a faking nose grind transfer or something on the bench, and I was like, fuck it. I did like a late shove it over the bench afterwards, and sure enough, out of all the footage, guess which one they used the Acme video?
Oh,
all swinging. But no one wants to see make it black, dude. So I lucked out right there. Thank God.
Without thinking too hard, what comes up when I ask what the best thing you've been there for to see happen on a skateboard?
Mark Gonzalez kicked up the Gons. I was there. I went skating with Gons that day. Actually, Gons and Jamie Thomas.
Oh, wow.
It was me, Gons, Jamie Thomas, Drake Jones.
Mofo shot that, right?
Yes. Who else was with us, man? I want to say Sean Young was with us for sure. But somebody else was with us, man. Like, I can't remember, but Mark Gonzalez gave me an ATM board that day because he was like he had talked to me about me riding for ATM, and at the time I could do hard flips, and I taught him how to do hard flips at Wallenberg on flat ground. This is right before he kickflipped the Gons.
Wow.
And he gave me an ATM board, which I later, like a dumbass, took home and traded for weed. But that was right when he had started ATM. He had that board, the one with the face. And it was printed upside down. He had a bunch of them printed upside down. Actually, if you look at the kickflip of the Gons, I think he was skating one that was printed upside down. But if you look at that sequence, it's me and Drake Jones sitting on the Gons, like in the back, like literally, like you see me, Drake Jones, and somebody else. I might have been Sean Young, I don't know, but somebody was sitting next to us, and that was. I've seen Tom Penny do some pretty ridiculous shit, but also we were all fucking high and drunk and stoned, and it didn't make sense at the time. So. Holy shit. But I've seen Tom do some incredibly remarkable shit. Like, I saw him switch quicker grind. You know the ledge that Alyssa Steamer does? Did she try? No, she tried a nollie lip slide or tail slide in the Toy Machine video. The out ledge, Diego.
Yep.
He had a switch quicker grind on that. I just posted a poster of him doing this old S poster, and we all went there one day. And he did it in some fucking ugly ass fake Timberlands or something. Like literally just borrowed somebody's board, high and drunk as fuck. And just like, oh yeah. And switch quick grind thing. Like, and everyone was like, everyone was such in awe that he did it and like that he had those terrible shoes. Like it was just a cornucopia of what the fuck? Like he had the worst shoes on ever. Like I don't even know shoes. He was on these S at the time, and it didn't even. He just had like some terrible Tom Penny outfit. You know what I mean? Like Tom Penny has terrible outfits. Let's be serious. And I love Tom, but everyone's just cool with like Tom's terrible outfits. They did it with Musket for a while too. You know what I'm saying? The Musket was dressed like the dude from fucking Malibu's Most Wanted. They did that. People tried to act like that shit was cool, but that shit wasn't cool.
Malibu's Most Wanted. Damn.
Hey, but those two dudes, and I mean, Gons kickflip on the Gons literally stands out to me as probably one of the biggest, like, because it wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Jamie trying it? Was it kind of them going back and forth, or no?
Not that I remember, because Gons did it in like a few tries. Like he did it in less than a handful of tries.
Okay.
He like literally like. He wasn't like trying, like it doesn't, I can't make sense of how it happened. Like, because the kickflip he shouldn't have made. You know what I mean? I can on flat ground, you're like, how the fuck did I just do that? Like, it looked like one of them kickflips where you would easily roll your front ankle and smash your kneecap at the same time. Like, and it was just like, it looked like kind of he was falling and he could have kicked it away, but somehow he drug it back under his back foot, and then his front foot sort of like did like a fucking saran wrap almost. Like it was completely gone. You know, it was just absolute.
It's what Greco calls mob. Mob is fuck.
It made Greco's kickflip look like the fucking equator. Like, sorry, man.
Wrapping it up, who are the dudes, like, cliche as fuck, but the Rushmore of skateboarding? Who's your 5 guys that need to go up there? Is Tom Penny in that list?
Oh no, I mean, my dudes were around before Penny's era. You know, I love and respect Tom Penny. That's one of my fucking, you know, there was time where it was only, you know, it was me, him, Krieger, and Muska. That was like our crew skating every day. We lived right up the street from each other, you know, so it was like, I've had great memories, you know, just skating with those dudes for like, it was one summer, it was just us, you know, and like Costa Mesa, you know, so those guys, like, not saying they're not, but I've just always had my guys, you know, Julian Stranger, absolutely. Ray Barbie, absolutely. Sean Sheffy, absolutely. Sal Barbier, absolutely. Kareem Campbell, absolutely.
Shout out.
You got it on lock.
That is my guys right there. You know, like
right. Let's see if we can get my graphic artist guy to go.
Dude, I have it's so crazy, man. Like, I literally almost started crying when I met Julian Stranger at fucking 47 years old. You know what I mean? I'd never met him before. And I was just like, there's a picture when I met him at the Break Free thing. And like people thought I was joking. I was seriously about to fucking cry. I was like, yo, I couldn't believe it was him. There's people like, I just never thought I would meet, you know, and he was one of those dudes. Like, I'd never meet Julian Stranger, you know, like, especially at this point in skating, I was like, dude, you know, like, he's not older, but I'm just like, if I had seen him at this point, like, it's like he just pop up at Tampa Pro or some shit. I mean, pop up like a Red Bull Manny Mania. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I thought like that's someone I've always wanted to meet, man. And like, we went out to eat that night, and it was just, you know, it's crazy for me talking about it. I was just like sitting next to fucking Julian Stranger, just like I remember looking over and being like, dude, I can't fucking believe I'm sitting next to Julian Stranger having dinner.
Holy shit.
You could have never told fucking 16. I was like, dude, I had the green card shirt. I was like, I remember I wanted my first board to say Singleton instead of Stranger. Like, dude, I like the loose trucks. Like, I started reading Bukowski because of that guy. Like, I know I'm a fucking Julian Stranger fan. You know what I mean? I had the shit on my wrist right here. I had my birth date because he had the birth date on his wrist. I'm a fucking diehard Julian Stranger fan.
Rad.
Concrete Jungle Days, talking to this dude right here. I'm the biggest, like, dude, I used to watch that.
You got the casting pomp photo up on the wall.
Man, I used to watch Speed Freak video on fucking Rewind. And realistically, man, when I started making boards with Ali Lama, I don't want to hold you up. I was like, I'm gonna do a green card board. And I was like, actually, that's a bad idea. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do the syringe board. I'm like, that's a bad idea too. Like, so, you know, back then, man, it's like, that's what I'm saying, man. They had like identifying things, you know, and before we go, man, I want to say thank you to Sean Cliver for creating an identifying thing for me, you know, and I have an Ali Lama one coming out, and it's me, but I look like the Dalai Lama, because that's pretty much where it came from. And Cliver drew it up. He's like, here, man, I want you to have these. And like, that's fucking invaluable, because it gives me an identity. It's something I can always, you know, it's like, I can always, if I want to make a shirt at 56, I can make the Clyde Ali Lama shirt or the Clyde fucking Strangelove shirt, or they can make it 25 years later. So I just really want to always say thank you to that guy for that. And also thank you to Sal Barbier, man. Like, he has been just a great dude, man. He put up with a lot of stuff with me. You know, and
the best.
One thing I will always respect that dude for, he would always say, I don't put a dude on my team to kick him off. And I respect that shit more than any. I've said that every fucking place I worked. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to hire you to fire you, you know? And he's always been like just a good mentor, you know, like he's probably saved me from a lot of bad sponsors just by being like, the fuck you doing that corny shit for? He'd always be like, look, man, if you're going to do something, you have to do something that's going to be cooler than what you already are.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and like, I'd be like, oh, so I don't want me to do like, his clothes. So he always keep me straight, and he always made sure he kept me in the loop, you know. He stuck around with me a long time. So I really great dude, man. Like, I still talk to him all the time. We make fun of everybody's favorite pro skateboarder more than you know.
Big ups to Sal.
Yes.
Dude, that's rad. Thank you for coming on though. Like, sharing so much of your time and your stories and stuff. And I just think that it's cool. Maybe I'm tripping, but I think people will trip that it's like, wait, you both have podcasts. You had him on yours. Wait, what? Like some like weird thing. And I just think it's like, we're talking skateboarding. That's what we're doing. And like,
of course,
there's no animosity or weirdness or anything like that. So I appreciate doing these kind of things. Like, you know, if Kelly Hart was like, hey, I want to come on or something, but come on. Like, I don't care that you guys do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever. So
I've been wanting to get Jerron on just to kind of pick his brain.
I got a couple unreleased episodes, and I think we couldn't make this announcement. I think I'm interviewing Steve Olson day after tomorrow, which is like a big deal for me. Like, I'm like really excited about that.
Old or new?
Not the new Steve. Neither of them are new, but OG, like Santa Cruz, Alex's dad.
Man, tell that dude I said what's up. I love Steve Olson. One day
He's
I was going
the best.
I forgot this magazine in New York. Not New York, LA. It was like a skate, lifestyle, whatever magazine. I can't remember the name at the time. It was around 2006, but I was skating up to the magazine. I can't remember the name. And it was on Sunset. I'm just skating, and I hear some dude like, yo, Clyde. Look over and like, see this fucking big dude, gray hair. Like, what's up, man? It's like, holy shit, it's Steve Olson. I was tripping, dude. I was like, you know who I am? Like, I didn't know. I was tripping, dude. I was like, dog, it was just me and him on the street. I was like, I was so stoked, dude. Like, you have no idea. Yeah. I was like, yo, like, shit like that don't happen. You know what I mean? You're not just skating down the sunset. You're like, oh, what's up? It's Steve fucking Olson. Holy shit, it's Steve Olson. And, he's always, man, I'd always see him after that. He'd come out Brooklyn Projects, and she's such, man, please tell him I said what's up. I love that dude.
I will, for sure.
One of the older heads, it's still cool, you know. And that goes a long ways, man. He's a generation, you know. People think they want to put all the Alba and all those dudes in the same era, and it's like, nah, that's 79 to like 83 era is like, that's his own thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like I'd really like to get into that. And if you need any contacts, I want you to know too, man, if you ever need any contacts on people you haven't spoken to, if I can help you out, let me know, man.
Same. Absolutely. Yeah. That would be rad. I'm my own Baba Booey, man. I'm actually getting the people I'm fucking interviewing and that I'm editing the thing. Like, it's just a one-man show.
Baba Booey.
Yeah, man. I think it's you do the editing too? Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything.
I love editing. I think it's like putting a puzzle together.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just, it is time consuming. I mean, I just tell people, because I used to work with a dude that really had no patience and he wanted everything done yesterday. I think everyone knows who he is. He's dead now, but he was just like, where is it always? So there was always that pressure. I'm like, dude, you don't just press a button and it's done, dude. If I talk to you for 3 hours, guess what? I got to listen to it for 3 hours. Minimum, it's going to take me 3 hours. That's if I do nothing. So just think about that.
ID kicks in and I'm like, fuck, dude, I want to go back and get the first part. And they're like, dude, I know, I think this is great to talk to you about this. You know what I mean? Because like, we put a lot of pressure on our, like, unneeded pressure. I mean, it's like going to your house and pulling up and you're like, this house looks like shit. I built this house. And you're like, I built the house and I built the fucking frame. So I feel like, you know, like people are going to look through they're going to look through our social media feeds, you know, and like, I don't need like, if I'm asking like Dave Crabb's a guy who I was just talking to the other day, and I'm like, I don't need him to just go pick a random post and like there's just a bunch of dudes arguing about someone said something, and it's like, I don't want to build my platform on that kind of shit because I want people to come on. I want them to feel like they want to come on. You know, not, well, fuck, man, I hope Clyde don't ask me some weird shit. You know what I mean? It's like that just saves all that. It's like
that Big Brother life is over.
Yeah, number two, the way I see it, it's like, dude, like, we already did Big Brother shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's in the past, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, it's done. It's like I'm not building my brand on that brand again. You know, it's like to me, it's more important to do things that I want to be proud of moving forward and things that I want other people to be proud of that they were a part of. I think that's more important than getting or like, you know what I mean? Or like people like, oh shit, you know, or like that instant couple of thousand hits and like the next week they're like, wait for something else juicy and you're just like, nah, dude, we're just talking about GNS and shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this shit sucks. So
this ain't no message board. It's not like trying to build drama so you can just live vicariously off someone else's death, like whatever. It's like,
dude, I want to say this when we get off the phone. I don't know how you feel. I've never been on the site message board because I think a lot of that shit is corny.
Yeah.
But that kind of shit is what killed fucking magazines. It took any like creativity out of it.
Well, people are scared to talk. Like it's, you know, like, whoa, I'll be a robot and I'll say exactly what you want me to hear, but like I ain't gonna test the waters with anything.
Yeah, man, and it's like
that's people's mentality. It's like
funny too. It's like they knew the direction those things go. You know the direction those things go, period. Like whether it be Reddit or message boards are like the fucking devil's playground, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing good you're gonna get out of that unless you're like randomly going in to get like some fitness tips or some shit. You know what I mean? It's not like there's nothing really good to come out of it. There's a bunch of people sitting there waiting to be pissed and waiting to talk about shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's a formula. It's set up for the people that run the shit to make money and just let the fucking it's like a fucking prison. You know what I mean? It's just let the monkeys run let the animals run the zoo. We'll just make sure it stays populated. You know what I'm saying? That's literally like a message board. They're like, it serves no real purpose to what? You know what I mean? A bunch of voiceless people that just can get on there. You can make up shit. You can sway people's opinion. Or you can be a nobody and just constantly post like, fuck Chris Cole, fuck this guy. Like, no one's going to say nothing. You know what I mean? No one's checked. Like, it's unchecked fuckery. You know what I'm saying? It's freedom of speech. It's like, dude, freedom of speech can get you punched in the fucking mouth.
And what happened to defamation of character?
Well, that's not that people don't think about that. You know, like they don't think about that kind of. I think that kind of shit is very detrimental to not only magazines but to the pro skater too. You know, it's like I've seen so much of that shit go like social media shit, like take down pro skaters, and it's like, dude, what? Like these fucking online nerds. That could be like, you don't even know this person looks like. That could be one person in 15 different profiles. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know. You seriously, like you don't
I know.
Like
there's like, dude, 35 people are talking about it. No, they're not. There's two guys with 35 handles.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, hey, out here, I will say this. I do know one Instagram poster dude that tried to get saucy with me one day. And I was like, bitch, I will air out all 12, 13-year accounts, and they're big ones too. They fucked up and messaged me back on the wrong one day. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So like, that's why I was like, all that shit's fake, dude. All that shit is fake as fuck. There's a quote unquote pro skater out there that does skateboard related shit. And he has all these followers and all this shit. He has a blue bark on his thing. And I looked at my boy's girl does digital marketing for Twitter. And I'm like, yo, how does this, like, what the fuck? She's like, oh, they pay for that kind of shit. And furthermore, he has a couple accounts. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You can create an illusion of yourself on fucking online, you know? And so just imagine what you can do to somebody's name. You know what I'm saying? And you see those weird ass fucking Netflix movies where like, you know, like don't fuck with the cats and shit. Like there's people like that in skating. You know, there's straight up like weirdos like that in skating. Like there's some weirdo ass dude that like is pissed he didn't get some Nikes and he's just like some fucking creep on fucking the message boards. and they just let that shit fly. You had to call this dude out today, man. He was on this other kid's page, and he was saying how much he bought a board for on something on eBay. It was like an old board. And I hit dude up. I'm like, hey, man. I was like, yo, I'm glad you posted. You guys said something about that, because that dude was relentlessly asking me for a skateboard. Like I tried to be cool and be like, yeah, I get you one. He's like, man, I need one you rode, and can you sign it? And I'm just like, that's kind of a hefty thing to ask someone, you know? And like, then finally I had to be like, you know what, man, I can't give you a board. Like I don't like giving shit to people that constantly ask me. I'd rather just give it to someone. Then I was like, hold on, this motherfucker's a board flipper. He didn't just want my shit. You know what I mean? And like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you can't even be really nice to people online, because it's just like, it's just fucking weird, man. On social media, it's just ruined. It's almost ruined skateboarding. But I'm that space open for all them weirdos that hate Kareem, because you know what's gonna happen. That shit's gonna turn into Acme's, and everybody's gonna be fucking pissed. Yeah, man. You remember Acme's was corny as fuck. Yeah. Dude, Nike was corny at first. Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So give it a little time. They'll flip on that shit. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a little rundown before we get up here. What's gonna happen in the next 5 years?
All right, we got this. Let's get the predictions.
They're gonna hate that little 12-year-old girl like they hated Nigel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're 100% gonna hate her. What's gonna happen? Jamie Thomas will still be pro. He will be.
Yeah.
Powell will make a weird resurgence that nobody asked for. That's gonna 100% happen. Rob Roscott will come out with another board, with another face coming out.
Okay.
Let me think what else is gonna happen. I will marry Letitia. Is that her name?
Letitia Buffoni?
Girl, it's fine as fuck, dude.
Is the Muska gonna resurface?
Muska's got a broken leg right now. Muska's at old McMuska Farms.
He's
laid
got
up
the farms, yeah.
I don't know. Muska's making up some weird story about how he's homeless. If he would have said he was homeless, I would take that. If he was like not at home that much, but he said homeless. There's no such thing as a homeless skateboarder. It's impossible to be homeless. I tried it in SF. Sean Young tried it. It's like, Sean, you weren't homeless because you could have went to Jamie's house and went to sleep.
Yeah.
You just chose not to go somewhere a couple nights a week, which is fine. But you weren't homeless. Skateboarder, it's impossible for skateboarders to be homeless. Can we agree on that? Dude, if I would have came to Tupelo with no job, no money, and just my van, I guarantee you I would still have that same job and that same house that I'm having right now. Like, guaranteed. Because I came to this fucking skate shop. I know skaters. You know what I mean? I'll be sitting here talking to you right now. You know, it would have all went the same way, because skateboard is the last bastion of community, dude. It is, man. So they're not going to, no skateboarding going to let you like, oh, man, you got to sleep out. No, dude. No. You know that, dude. You guys been on King of the Road and shit. Man, people asking y'all to slay at their house. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're going anywhere, like that's the thing. Like, I can't even imagine traveling not being a skater. Like, the first thing you do is you like, what spots are there? What shops are there? Who, like, all right, hook up with this guy. He'll know all this. And then pretty soon you're like part of the crew and you haven't even arrived yet.
Yep.
And it's just it is. I mean, in that way, there's the brotherhood in that is insanity. Like, just to be like, oh, I'm going to a different country. I'll hit this dude up. He lives there. He knows this guy. And then pretty soon you're hooked up and you're like, that's a special bond that like skateboarders have that privilege. And yeah, if you live in a big city like San Francisco, like for sure, you're not going to be homeless because somebody will help take you in and help you straight or whatever.
I mean, it's literally the last bastion of community, because you think about it, man. It's like, what's one thing that brings a lot of people together? Like,
the Super Bowl.
Seriously, what was it? Christianity? Well, like, remember that dude that tried to go to Sentinel Island? He was like, Jesus sent me. And they fucking killed his ass. I bet if he would have went with a skateboard, it'd have been like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Body's cool. Like, it's just something that is almost like a universal language. You know, it's like, you don't have to be able to speak Japanese to go to Japan and link up with skateboarders. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go to Japan with the fucking basketball in your hand and be like, yo, let's go dunk. They'll be like, what the fuck? But you can go to Japan with a skateboard. You can go to Africa with a skateboard. You can go to, you go to Helsinki with a skateboard. Think of all the places you see skateboarding. So it's a huge brotherhood. Think how many times you've been to Europe. Dude, I've been in Europe so many times, and I'm just like, how the fuck did we survive in Europe? Like, because we knew people. You know what I mean? And the skaters, they were like, yeah, come on. You know what I mean? Oh, come on, man. We're going to take you to, we'll smoke you out, we'll buy you, we'll drink your beers. And like, it's just like, you know what I mean? You don't get that, man. Like, biker gangs ain't getting that. You know what I mean? We ain't pulling up into other cities. Like, we don't got to check in like gangsters. Ain't nobody trying to kill us. And like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't like, it's the last bastion of community. You can't even go to a different city and join a different church without there being a problem. You can go to a different city and skate a different ramp without being a problem. You know? It's its own thing, man. And you'd have to be completely engulfed in it to even know that what we're talking about with this kind of shit. Like, that's what I said. I'm little weird dudes that like stay in the weird little cities and skate like the same spot. Legend, like, they don't know about that kind of shit. Like, they never really jumped off the porch and shit. So all they really know is skateboarding from what they see in magazines and at that one spot and like the stories they heard. They don't know what it's like to fucking go to South Dakota and be like, yo, like there's people in South Dakota and like, hey, there's good parks and you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think that's a beauty of skating, man. It got us together. You know, people, when's the last, do podcast hosts even get together?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You ever seen a podcast where two podcast hosts get together? Ben?
No, I can't say I have.
Look at that.
See,
we set the trends.
That's the kind of shit I like to do. I try to like figure out how we can break the mold. This guy Albino, he told me provoke the stoke. That always was stuck in my head. I like that one.
Provoking the stoke.
I like that. Like provoke the stoke.
Yeah. We always end on a musical choice. So any song that you want to fucking throw on the jukebox or whatever, like to take it out.
Like a song? Oh shit! What's my joint? My philosophy, KRS-One. That is my shit.
Oh yes.
That is my all-time favorite rap song. If you ever ask anyone that knows me, knows I'm the biggest character. That song, it does something, man. It puts me in a certain time, place.
I like that.
I want to hold you up. I just want to say once again, happy birthday, brother. It's Thursday, right?
Scorpio season. We're out here.
You believe in that shit? What do you think's on the other side of the moon, real quick? You think it's spooky over there?
I don't think it just ends.
What if it was a bunch of old Atari games?
I'd be down.
I would kill that shit now, dude. I'm gonna go buy an Atari now. You said that. Hopefully, Letitia holler at me after this great interview.
Yeah, I already put out a feeler to her publicist, so who knows? You might see her on the show someday.
I'm gonna send her a picture of me shirtless.
Do it. Hell yeah, man.
All
Well,
right,
thanks, dude. Good talking to you.
Man, I appreciate you doing this, dude. I'm stoked on this. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So stoked. Thank you so much. I appreciate it too. I've been looking forward to this for a minute.
Hey man, anytime, brother. And once again, happy birthday, okay?
All right. Cheers.
Peace, brother.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talkin Schmit. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications every Tuesday of new episodes the minute they become available. Also, please leave reviews and a 5-star rating. It's the best way to help the show grow. All of the episodes will always remain free, but if you would like to help support the show, you can do so at talkinschmit.com, where you can pick up some merchandise like t-shirts, beanies, hats, and stickers. The website has an entire archive of all of the episodes, with extra photos and videos. Email us with any suggestions, comments, or ways that the show may have improved your life at talkinschmit@gmail.com. All interviews are conducted, edited, and produced by Schmitty. The intro music is Mary's Cross by the band Nature. A very special shout out goes to the executive director, Cheryl Camisa.
Shout out.
Love it! This is Talkin Schmit, where the Rolodex is deep, but the conversation is deeper.
Keep the wheels greased.